everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
See, I want it to sound like that whenever you do it. I want to feel the sharecropper blood coming out of you whenever you say it.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
A little more southern, a little bit more desperate. Now, you try.
You turned 47 hours ago. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Welcome into StrongSide, the show. My name is Mike Palucci. This is the birthday boy.
Heyo.
Mike Marshall.
How you doing?
We're celebrating the only way we know how, which is with all of you guys, because we love you. We especially
making me work all day.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting you into the content mines for your 40th birthday. But we wanted to celebrate with you, especially those of you who like and subscribe, so we can keep making this beautiful show. You subscribe to the magazine as well, D Magazine. We'd appreciate that.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
More. Yeah, we'd be big fans of that. We got slightly biased on the show today. He's great. You're going to have a ton of fun with this one. If you watch the Haymaker Network like you should, you already know who he is. If you don't, you're about to. We're going to talk a little Mavs, little Stars, we're little Cowboys. Should we start with some baseball, though?
I guess if we have to.
I think it's too embarrassing not to talk about.
All right, that's fine with me. Honestly, one of the most uninspired seasons that's happened in a little while. Not as silly as, I wouldn't put it on the same vicinity as the Mavs season that just happened, but just this Rangers season in general, I'm like, this is exactly what we kind of thought was going to happen. But a new low has been set as you're doing your conga line. You got to get a little bit lower because getting no hit.
Is it conga? I think it's limbo.
Limbo.
Conga is just like
it's just the dancing. It's just
you're just like kind of walking festively.
Limbo line.
Yeah. Gotta get a little lower.
A new low has been set.
Bar's been lowered. They limboed under it.
No hit by the Houston Astros.
Combined no hit.
Combined no hit on Monday.
Yeah.
The guy that Reggie was telling us has been considered a con man because they didn't think he could actually pitch.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. After walking three dudes in the first.
That guy and the dude who capped it off was literally named Santa.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I think Rangers fan base is on absolute fire at this moment. They are ready to turn them and burn them and scorch the boats. And
this was one of those where it felt like the whole internet was just
the entire internet.
You're going to see people's brains just like broken. Like, how do I come back from this?
We start turning to our left and punching people as Jared Sandler's catching strays on the internet. I'm like,
our guy.
Brother, what is he supposed to say? It's just like a bunch of that. But I don't know. The offense is already, I've said this before the season even started. Someone should have done something about this. But going through a baseball season in which you have no chance, and one of the sides of the ball is just incredibly inept, it is so painful. It's a dull toothache. It is grinding your bones. Painful to go through a baseball season like this. Man. Is there anything more embarrassing than getting no hit by a team that was like bottom 10th or bottom and ERA going into that?
Yes, and it's when you open the first inning with 3 straight walks.
Yeah.
And you don't get a hit, let alone a run, the entire game. Here's one. Is it more embarrassing if one person no hits you or more than one person no hits you? Because it was 3 in this
It's
case.
more, for me, for some reason, psychologically, it's more embarrassing when multiple people roll out there and you can't hit anything off of them. For some reason, because, if a guy's got your number, maybe I'm a caveman.
I don't have the answer here. I'm just asking the question.
I think it's this guy knows how to pitch to this lineup, and he's solved it.
He's got the right stuff that night.
Yeah, he's got the right stuff that night. He's untouchable that night. No one was going to get him. You hear stories about that. Johan Santana ran out there that night, and no one was touching that changeup, so that's what happened.
Yep.
But then it's 3 different variables are introduced. It's like if she cheats on you with a couple of different guys. Somehow it's way worse. Though on the surface, I don't know if it's worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I guess it'd be like, well, she was really in love with that one guy.
Yeah.
Or she just,
right.
fooled around with 4.
Yeah.
Look, is it really that instructive that you got no hit randomly in May? Probably not, especially when there are guys out of your lineup. What is instructive, though, is that, like, and we talked about this ad nauseum in the show, how little safety net there is for everything on this team.
Yeah.
And so all it takes is being down a few pieces, and it's like, yeah, you could get no hit by a terrible pitching staff from terrible components of the pitching staff at that. It just was frustrating, and this is a team that delivers frustrating more than anything else. Like that's really what maybe the worst sin of this whole deal is that like tepid participation, who I like a lot on Twitter. Shout out that guy. I don't know if I should drop his real name on here or not. So
I don't
not
know.
gonna.
We're very cloaked today.
We're very cloaked today with slightly biased on the show. So we're just gonna say shout out Tepid. But Tepid pointed out, he's just like, the pitching is backed up a lot this month. It isn't like the top 3 ERA in baseball staff. It's a lot closer to the bottom third. And that offense still sucks. But this division is bad, and this whole, like, the entire AL is mediocre other than some stuff in the AL East, I guess, maybe. And so it's a deal where it's like, they might torture us the whole season and be in this playoff hunt the whole season, only for then to fall apart. Like, they might string everybody along for 2 more months because, like,
I think it'd be best case scenario at this point.
But like,
they did.
Everybody else has problems too. I keep waiting, and it's still early. I keep waiting for Seattle to turn on the juice and just, like, hit the NOS button in Fast and Furious and leave everybody behind. But like, Cal Raleigh has not been Cal Raleigh at all. And Julio does the thing where Julio is just like, call me in July. Call me in July and I'll be there.
Yeah.
So you have that. This A's team randomly is still doing stuff. Nick Kurtz is great.
They're fun.
They're fun. I like them. They're doing fun, smart things, so that's cool. But I don't think it's a given that they drop out of the race. As much as we talked last week about, like, I don't know what they hang their hat on, maybe the answer is that you hang the hat on the fact that everybody else is mediocre too. And you could be a little less mediocre, and Langford should be back soon. Corey Seager, we don't know. There's obviously performance stuff going on with Seager. I still think if he's healthy, he will be fine. You got the same line of problems that you've had of, like, all right, is Josh Young going to keep this going? Jock Peterson is getting on base. He that's like the last thing he has left, which it always kind of floored me that wasn't happening last year, because that was a thing that he always been able to do. But it's just weird when, like, you have Jock Peterson hitting leadoff in, like, the most old school, like, the most perverse version of the old school maximum, like, put on base percentage in the leadoff spot. Yes, but they're doing that because this is his only skill. He can't run. He can't play defense. The power is gone. This is all he's got. And how do we make this not be a total sunk cost? Put him in the only spot where he can leverage the one thing he does. Because even if you bat him 9th and put Nimmo first and try to do the whole on-base guy at the bottom, on-base guy at the top, Brandon Nimmo with his doubles power, Jock Peterson ain't coming home with that because he can't run. So
base clogger.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with that?
So I don't know, man. It's weird. I mean, this could just linger on, like, for months, and it's like the monkey's paw curling. Like, if you told us with all of our hesitation about this team in spring training, hey, they'll be within a couple games of the AL West at the end of May, we'd be like, great, we'll take it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this is what we're watching, and this is how bad it all feels, and this is how, like, kind of hopeless a lot of it is. Like, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that matters right now to me is the fan base, or are you, in this scenario, speaking for the fan base and maybe the organization and Chris Young, are you moved any closer to moving on to the next thing? Did the no-hitter, as stupid as it can sound, of this one incident, but it was a drumbeat, right? You can go, don't overreact to one thing. It's a drumbeat of this team is not good enough, and it's particularly not good enough on the offensive side. And listen,
they put up a bunch of runs the next game.
They did. They scored 8 in the first.
It's baseball. Things can happen.
It's awesome.
But, like,
does this move you first? Does it convince you further, or do you think it convinces them further that this team ain't it, and we need to bring the timeline to now and start thinking about what the future of this?
But this is why, again, like, the worst case scenario is they limp along and fall off at the end. If you keep hanging around and hanging around and hanging around, like, what if this is where you are mid-July and you're still, like, barely 500, but you are in the playoff hunt? Are you going to let it go? Or are you going to try and buy for it when you don't have assets to move for a team that probably won't do anything with this? And, like, what's the real end game here? Like, yeah, like, it's the irony I always go back to all the time when Joey Gallo got traded and John Daniels, when he was still the general manager, sat at the press conference was like, we're rebuilding, no half measures. We're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happened that winter was ownership was like, yeah, but what if we don't? Because this ballpark is new and I need people to go for it.
Yeah.
And then it became a big half measure because they spent a bunch of money for 2 years and then never did it again.
Mm-hmm.
And great, it worked. We have a beautiful little banner and it's all well and good. And that 2023 will live on. And this is all dwarfing anything else that could have happened since. But the whole thing is half measures. Everything is half measures. And now staying in a race might be half measures. And like, should they pull the plug? Yeah, probably, because I just don't buy that this will get you anywhere, even if you get to the postseason. What is the long-term plan here when your best assets are all in their 30s, other than Wyatt Langford, who, you know, as much as we remain bullish, still needs to do it at some point.
Yeah.
It should prompt something. I don't think it will prompt something. And there's always the variable, too, of when you say what the front office might want to do might not be what ownership wants to do here.
That's true. Yeah. And it's just really painful for me to look at this thing and say, you could have fixed this with a relatively small amount of money. You had a bat or two that is consistent, that can play 140 plus games at a position that matters. And this offense might be completely different. It stacks entirely differently.
Yep.
And you could probably fix it realistically if you had the assets in a trade or two down the road. Because I think the pitching is fine. You know exactly what the problems are. Now, you might get far enough into this thing and you might take on enough damage and water to where different problems pop up.
Yeah.
To where now, I actually do need a fourth starter in here.
Right. The pitching is all well and good until somebody gets hurt.
It's not.
Baseball and starters get hurt. That's just
right. And that's just having a thin rotation.
It's just, and like even the ones who don't, the Dodgers have a bunch of guys because pitchers get hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody can prevent that anywhere. Yeah. So, yeah, the problems are what they are. The shape of the problems might change or become a little less or more urgent at certain points, but they're problems. Mm-hmm. This team's got a lot of them, and I'd love to feel better about it, but I don't. Not because of a no-hitter, but because of just what that kind of exposes.
Yeah. It is two paths on a train track in my mind that are about to collide with each other, which is I'm never a fan of. I'm never of the mind. You know this from me from fantasy football leagues. I'm like, because I had a major injury and I'm stacked low now, that doesn't mean I need to do something about it. You do not operate from a place of lack of strength.
Yeah.
From a weak point. Whenever you are at your lowest because of injuries, you don't operate from there. I also knew this thing was wrong from back in frickin' whenever offseason started. Halfway through last season, I knew this thing was wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't know which rule. I don't know which hard, fast rule in my mind is going to overcome the other, take priority.
Well, I would argue that it is the, big picture that this is broken. So that who cares if you make the move when your team is not healthy or if the team is healthy? Because when the team is healthy, it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
But, here we are. We could talk about something else, which this flew under the radar a little bit. For all of the deserved pomp and circumstance that the Stars Mavericks lawsuit got over the control of the American Airlines Center, the conclusion hit this weekend on, I believe, Saturday, which was that the Mavs now have control of the American Airlines Center. Court ruled in their favor, saying that they can control this. The Stars will appeal, as they should, pending anything else that comes out that hasn't already been there. I don't know how much this changes. Let's presume, as Mike gets birthday calls,
probably would.
I don't want my boy not getting calls on his big milestone.
Michael
birthday.
Jordan calling me my birthday.
That's greatness right there. Let's presume for a moment that the appeal doesn't work, that the verdict is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know more than the average bear what it was like behind the scenes with what the tug of war was really over.
Mm-hmm.
Which was one of them has the building. They want to do something different than what the other one is. So let's say the Mavs have control of the building for the next 5 years until they move somewhere else.
Yeah.
What do they really want to do? What's going to look different? What's going to happen?
So I think in the short term, that's probably good for Mavericks fans and kind of good for Stars fans, honestly. The real thing you got to worry about is 2031, whenever both of them might be operating somewhere else. Most likely.
I would assume they're very much
operating somewhere else.
Yeah.
Stars probably in Plano, Mavs probably on top of City Hall.
Or Valley View. That's kind of where it's down to.
Or Valley View, right? Yeah. And so what prompted this and what led to this entire scuffle, kerfuffle, whatever, these legalese back and forth, and you broke this agreement, your headquarters aren't in Dallas situation, is whenever the Adelson Dumont group bought the team from Mark Cuban, they obviously know how to build build big buildings.
Yes.
Should have phrased that different. I would have tripped over it a couple times.
A lot of alliteration there.
They do casinos.
Mm-hmm.
They have a giant casino in Macau, right? That's one of the best buildings in the entire world. And they know how to do this stuff. They wanted to do this stuff, that exact same playbook, on their new building that they somewhat own. They're co-tenants of 50-50 kind of ownership, even though the city owns it. The operator is Center Operating Company, which is shared by the Mavs and Stars. They thought they could go in there, do a little strong arming, do a little, hey, we'll take care of this part of it.
That's how they roll.
As long as you deal with this, we'll pay for that. They wanted to do, it was a significant amount of renovations, mainly for the hospitality parts. So I don't know if the normal Mavericks fan would have seen a lot of it, at least phase one. And they were down the road on it, and the Stars said no, because we share this Center Operating Company, which is the name of the thing you have to build, the company that got built back in 1999 as the operator of the AAC. And so this happened a lot in Mark Cuban's ownership, where he wanted to do something, where the Mavs organization, whoever was president at the time, wanted to do something. And he always ran into kind of like the Stars aren't going to approve that because they're going to have to pay for half type situation. And it was a big roadblock, but Mark always figured out a way to go, hey guys, let's figure out a solution for this. Let's not fight over this. Let's not make this the thing that gets us in court.
Yeah, there was always this understanding for years and years and years of like, we are a partnership, we'll figure it out somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He was bought into the long-term partnership of this.
Yeah.
Of we were at reunion together, we're going to be at the AAC together, we're going to be cohabitating the same building for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to take an L on overall experience and what I want to do with this building to share this with you, because neither of us can pay for the whole thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so Patrick Dumont, Miriam Adelson, the Sands ownership group came in and said, like, I don't owe the Stars anything.
Yeah. They ain't from here.
No. And in fact, I'm going to look for ways in which you've reached this contract. And they found one. They found a big one, which Stars, come on, dog. Like, have a lawyer on hand, review some stuff before you move up to Frisco and move your headquarters up there. But it's a kind of a petty thing to me.
Extremely petty.
But it is in the contract. It is absolutely in the founding document of Center Operating Company that both teams have to have their headquarters in Dallas, Texas. The Stars did not for a very long time, over 20 years. They moved up to Frisco. Everyone knows that. And so I don't know what new information is going to come up for this appeal, because I don't think there is any new information. I think it's just a dirty trick that was used. And now the Mavs are the sole operator of revenue, of decisions with the American Airlines Center.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if the Stars have grounds to leave like today if they could. I don't know.
I don't think they can. I mean, where would you go?
They couldn't. Yeah, it's not realistic, but I'm saying like if there was if we're in New York or something and you could just say, I'm going to go play in, we're now the New Jersey Stars. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, they're not going to be the Fort Worth Stars overnight.
Yeah.
I guess so. Brass tacks, what looks different? Just hospitality stuff?
I think they're going to spend the money that they wanted to spend.
Okay.
No one's going to be in their way and blocking what they want to spend for this, which is good
concourse. For fans.
Yeah, probably good for fans short term.
Yeah.
Concourse will look great. The new hospitality stuff will be awesome. There'll be some restaurants in there that you see whenever you go to Vegas and go to Hotel Aria or something, right?
Yeah.
Like top shelf, Michelin star, like chefs are going to show up. Probably not for the normal fan.
No.
Just telling you that. It's probably going to be season ticket members or people that have bought new private seat licenses for the new arena. Might be getting those.
What a perk.
But, man, it's good short term in the terms of experience at the AAC, I think, for everyone.
Yeah.
For long term, most likely pain, in that the AAC is going to be sitting there in the fall of 2031 without a single sports team in it.
Well, yeah, and I don't know how it survives. I was having this conversation with the great Bethany Erickson, D Magazine, one of our colleagues, and we were talking about it yesterday. It's like you now have to go into the year-round event business to fill that thing. And how? Because you're going to have a newer arena in Dallas, and you're going to have a newer arena that's a smaller capacity in Plano, so they don't have to directly compete with each other on events. They can each gobble a different tier of event. what do you have to offer as the AAC that's been around for, at that point, almost 3 decades?
Well, and there's a new, I don't know if you've noticed where all the big shows are going. They're going to Fort Worth.
Yeah. Well, and I think that'll start changing once the 2 new arenas come.
Yeah.
But there's going to be 2 of them. So what's your lure if you're the American Airlines Center?
I don't know. And there's a whole, obviously, Victory Park, Victory. That entire area is built up around people being there for, you know, whatever the 82 nights for Stars and Mavs games and then events down there. And so you start filling out the calendar pretty nicely.
Right.
Those businesses cannot survive. Those businesses will go away.
Yeah, there are not enough events. Even this town, which is very good at attracting stuff and being the land of opportunity, the land of spending money, all this, there are not enough events to fill 3 arenas calendars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There just aren't, especially when one of them would need events. The one that needs the events the most is the least attractive because they would need it year round. I just don't know how you do it. And so it's rearranging some deck chairs in the Titanic. Mm-hmm. And again, like anything that's good for ticket holders, you know, or for people who come in the door, you're making it better for your fans at incapacity, I'm for it. Okay. So that's fine. I don't love how this came about. I think it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth that this is how that durable partnership ended. Mm-hmm. It also feels like a little just Pyrrhic, almost like a Pyrrhic victory. Like, we did all of this for a building that's going to be done in 5 years because we don't even want to be here. Mm-hmm. We blew up relations with the other team that we used to be tight with for this.
Yeah.
Okay, great, man. Cool. We really accomplished a lot here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be a 30-year lifespan of the AAC. Came in 2000, right? Or 2001. It's going to exit in 2031 as a fiscally above water building. And after that, I don't know, you know, maybe the Wings start playing there. Maybe they throw different teams in there.
See, and that's the thing. Like, okay, you sit there and say Wings, but then they're renovating the convention center for the Wings.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
And also, even if the Wings got there, that season's short.
Yeah.
You can't make the revenue work the way you could with something that lasts as long as an NHL or NBA season. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong because, like, it's a building with history, and I don't want businesses to close and lose people lose jobs. And then at that point, people won't live down there. So you just nuked an entire neighborhood for nothing. But it's like, I don't know how the math works.
Yeah. I mean,
the math ain't mathin'.
The building that Dirk Nowitzki and Mike Modano built is going to have a 30-year run, and then it's going to be the biggest eyesore in downtown Dallas.
Which was what happened in Reunion Arena.
Yes, exactly. And I hate that history is repeating itself.
That's what we do, though. We tear down our history.
That's what we do. We tear it down. But it's nuts right now that we've reached this so quickly into the new ownership of the Mavs. Just like immediately they went to this move. They went to turn the knife immediately.
Right.
And both teams are going to be out in 5 years. And if you're the Stars, it's pretty obvious that you don't want to be there because the city chose the Mavs previously to this decision. Now the courts have chosen the Mavs.
Yeah. You're not sticking around.
The writing's on the wall
of
you don't want us here anyway.
Yeah.
And then the Mavs, they just think they're on to bigger and better things where they can build a better building right down the road.
Yes.
And nobody's necessarily doing the wrong thing, but we've all chosen our own path to spite the greater good for Dallas, which sucks.
Yep.
It sucks really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm dumbfounded this happened so quickly. And it's going to be weird. It might be better. It might have a red carpet for you. It might have some more screens along the concourse, but you're there knowing this place is dying.
Yeah.
Whenever that does happen. And the Mavs are sole operators. They canceled. I mean, this was like a hardcore ruling. This is not a soft turnaround thing. Like this, they canceled a jury trial because of this ruling.
Yep.
I think they have rights to all of the revenue that Center Operating Company is making going forward. Like
it's big.
This is a big FU to the Stars. This is a really big FU to the Stars. And this will be the legacy. I don't know if they realize it at this point, but this will be the legacy of the new ownership group. What has happened to that building and the hockey team that used to be down there as well. And the new thing better be the best thing anyone's ever seen.
For people that are not just the top 10% of the people going into the building.
Yeah.
Because they might I'm pretty confident that if you have money and you're going to those Mavs games, it will be worth your while. Will it be worth the while of everybody else? Will it be worth the while of the taxpayers? Because they promised vaguely that there will be a private paying component to this. It will all be taxpayer money. Okay, we got to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
A lot of things got to get sorted out. Yeah. But everything that's happened so far isn't exactly encouraging.
Yeah. And that's the building I've spent more hours at sporting events.
Oh, my God. I don't even know how many hours. Like,
by
you cumulatively have taken, a year of your life at least in that building?
Oh, I mean, for work.
Yeah.
God,
yeah.
I've spent as many hours there as I have some homes that I've lived in. Like, it was just a second home for 7 years.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be somebody stepping into the AAC pretty soon.
Yep.
At least for hopefully the next 5 years. He'll enjoy his time there, and it'll be the 9th overall pick coming up in the NBA draft, unless they move or something. And moving on with our prospect series, you wanted to talk about Brayden Burries, the Arizona, whatever you want to call him, combo guard, wing, something.
I think he's a 2. I think he's like.
Okay.
Yeah, so Brayden Burries, right? We've talked about this enough that you guys probably know our position here, which is there's a clear top 4. We're not breaking any news there. We all see the same top 4 guys. We're not getting any of those.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably a tier of the next 4 guards, which is Keaton Wagler, Kingston Flemings, Michael Brown being the other one jumping in there, and Darius Acuff. Yeah. For a while it was 7. I think Brown is pretty comfortably going to go top 8. I find it hard to believe. There's too much smoke that like he's going to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's say these guys are all gone. What do you do? And Yaxel was an option, as we talked about last week. I'm getting into Brayden Burries for what this is, which is kind of an amalgamation of 2 things we talked about. One, you want a dog, a dude who gives a shit and comes in there. And 2, you want to make sure you do not totally whiff. And I don't think you're going to totally whiff on Brayden Burries. Brayden Burries is if Yaxel is the high floor, but man, I don't know about the ceiling when he's 24 and all this stuff. Brayden Burries is a little below that. It gives you a little more ceiling option. He is 6'4", 6'5" in shoes. He's not huge. Good athlete, not great athlete. There is no one carrying trait that you look at and say that's where he's going to make his money. There's also no one thing he's bad at. He's good at most everything for what he is. I'm going to give you some numbers here from our guy Sam Vecini, who really put the sample together. We're going to throw out the first 5 games of, he's a freshman, blah, blah, blah. He comes in, throw those out. From that point onward, this is a sample of 30, how many games we were in here? About 34 games. He averaged 17.3 points per game, shot 51% from the field, 41 from 3. He also 5.5 boards per game at 6'5".
Yep.
2.5 assists. So what this guy does is a few things. He comes in. There are no questions about how he can play right away. We're both big picture people. We are very much looking down the road. But in a world where Kyrie Irving is at least here for right now, because Masai made it clear he will be, you plug Brayden Burries into the 2, and his skills complement what Kyrie does. You don't have to worry about, if you take a lead offensive initiator, how you make the minutes work. None of that. He's your 2 guard. He can come in. He could be a secondary ball handler. He could space the floor for you. He is a guy, he also averaged 1.5 steals a game. We'll get into this with slightly biased later about some guys in the draft, but if you don't create turnovers in college, you generally don't learn that skill in the pros. This guy creates turnovers. And if you watch the tape, he's really active, and he's just a pest. He gets in your face. He cares. A guy who, I don't know if he's a lead point of attack defender. I think the opinions are all over the board. There are people who think he can be that, but at worst, he's a good defender. This is not a guy as a defensive liability in any way, shape, or form. He is someone who I like that he is getting 5.5 boards as your 2 guard. I don't know how much that fully translates, but that tells me 1, you give a shit, and 2, you are crafty because you could find lanes to get the ball when you are not the biggest dog in the hunt. And he's just a guy who, does that mean he winds up being the 3rd or 4th guy on a title team? Okay, that's not ideal, but at 9, if you get cleaned out of the really interesting guys, I can get down with that. That's a guy who will give you things right away. Now, the issue is he's not that big. He's not that athletic. How is he going to gain separation at the league level, right? If he has to do things on his own, can he? I don't know. I'm not totally sold on that. And in a world where you ideally want some offensive focal point to take pressure off of Cooper Flagg, is he that versus a guy who ideally is playing off those people? I think it's more the latter. So I'm not sitting here getting Brayden Burries hype and thinking that this is a future All-NBA guy by any stretch of the imagination. But I think this could be a very solid starter who does not hurt you in any way, who is additive in a lot of ways, and who fits the DNA of what you want to build, which is guys who play hard and who care and who are smart. And at 9, that's not a bad outcome for me.
Yeah, I think when you are picking a 9 and probably an 8-player draft or even like a 4-player
draft,
yeah. You need to be realistic with yourself about what you're about to get, right? And I know he for some reason doesn't like tickle people's imaginations, but then I start looking into him and researching and going like, okay, well, why is this guy a top 10 pick, or why does he even creep past the Mavs into the top 8?
Yep.
And it's because he took over as their lead scorer whenever he wasn't necessarily pegged as that coming in. So you see a little bit of evolution of, I think everyone knew that like the two-way was there, the on-ball defense was there, the being a positive as a perimeter defender was there. And then you're going into a season with a team that had super high expectations and had a really nice year, and he's the guy scoring the most points consistently.
Yes.
And the guy that's rebounding way outside of his body.
On a really good team that a lot of people thought was going to win the title.
Yes, absolutely.
He was not doing this for, an also ran. He was doing this in big games for a team that had its shit together.
Yeah, and I don't know what his ceiling is. Like this profile exactly doesn't give me a lot to dream on. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think
I'm not going like, okay, this dude is potential to be untapped potential that I haven't seen yet.
I think, the comp that he gets that would make you excited is Derek White.
Mm-hmm.
But Derek White was probably less polished, but also a better athlete.
Yeah.
This guy isn't a great athlete, but he's already doing a lot of stuff where you see the polish.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's gritty. He's got that edge to him that I like.
Yep.
He's a give a shit, try hard guy.
Yep.
Love that.
Yep.
People just aren't like coloring in the entire picture of going, okay, that is there. That's inside of him. And he brings that probably in a different way than most of the other wings in this class, or at least two guards / wings in this class. He led the Arizona Wildcats in scoring.
Yeah.
He's their best scorer.
Yep.
So, yeah, maybe he never turns into a James Harden, a fill-in-your-blank guy that came in a little bit late in the lottery and like peaked eventually with some hyper-efficient skill set offensively. I like him a lot. I don't know if he's my pick at 9, but more I learned about him getting into this.
That was where I was. I was sitting there, and the more I learned about Brayden Burries, at first I was just like, okay, sure, fine. And then I kept looking, and I kept looking, and I kept looking, and I kept looking, and
you kept looking for what's wrong with him. Like
that's it. That was exactly where I was going to go. It was the Avion Terrell thing we talked about the Cowboys prospects. Well, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing. There are more right things about other people, but there's nothing wrong here.
Right.
And when you have to hit this, what's the floor? He's a good player that if you ever need to make a bigger trade someday, he'll always be an asset for you.
Mm-hmm.
He fits the timeline. He fits the vibe. I'm totally fine if that's what this winds up being. I'd be a little sad because that sort of is like, you didn't get the champagne outcome, but it's not going to go badly. I don't think there's a way this can go terribly.
Yeah. I think he's a perfectly fine fit.
Yeah.
I think I'd be excited about it even.
Yeah.
If he's here and he's the starting 2 guard for the Mavs for see how this thing plays out.
Right.
Obviously there are some lead guards ahead of him that I think are more tantalizing. That if one of them falls down to here, I think it'd be hard for Mike Schmitz to go like, you know what I like? I don't like that guy.
The real interest, if Wagler or Flemings, or I'd even say Brown get there, and that's the choice, I don't think you take Burries. I am intrigued if it's Darius Acuff or Burries, what you do.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's ceiling versus floor.
It really is. Yeah, and that'll tell you a lot about.
I think so. And which will be fun for us. That's a good data point right there. That would be the pairing where I'm just like, God, I don't know what you do, and I wouldn't blame them either way. And to your point, I'll learn a little more about what you think there. But totally down for Brayden Burries if that's what I want to.
Yeah,
I think everybody else should be too. That's going to be a good outcome to some degree or another.
For sure, agreed.
Cowboys OTAs, they're here. Well, they'll soon be here. They're here soon enough. They're here starting next week. Things are happening. We talked broadly about the team itself last week, but this is right when the rookies are getting there for the first time. So let's think about rookies. And I'm going to separate this into 2 buckets. What are you most intrigued to see from Caleb Downs? Because if I just say what rookie do you want to watch and learn from, it's Caleb Downs.
All right.
And who is the rookie that you most have your eye on that's not Caleb Downs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it might sound kind of obvious, so I'll rifle through these pretty quickly. But, Caleb Downs, is he the green dot guy?
Yep.
Okay, tell me that. Is he in on every package?
Mm-hmm.
Are they running every formation and finding a way to get him on the field?
Right.
Right? Is he in the heavy set? Is he in the nickel?
Yep.
Is he in light boxes? Is he out there? Are they figuring out how to get Caleb Downs on the field every single play? Because they do have some depth now at safety where they wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But I think Caleb Downs needs those reps, number one, and is probably the best option. Like, all respect to Jalen Thompson, I need Caleb Downs out there if it's a toss-up.
Yep.
And this is all under the understanding that I appreciate addressing the defense through the draft. If you think that solved it and you're going to walk out there week 1 and get the same results that you would have gotten by spending in free agency on these positions, you are mistaken.
Yes.
These guys might not be there yet.
Yeah.
Downs, obviously, is a higher pick, so I expect him to be there sooner. I don't even know if I don't know if he'll have a bad week. Like, I guarantee you Malachi Lawrence is going to have some bad weeks.
Yeah, there's a learning curve there. With Caleb Downs, I mean, we've all heard the anecdote about how he's explaining people's defenses to them in his pre-draft interviews. It wouldn't shock me if now that he's had like a month to work with that playbook, he just walks out there, is like, all right, so y'all doing this, I'll be there. Don't move me there. You want me here, and that guy's going to go there. Just let me do it. Just let me do it.
I think there will be a point in time, and it probably is going to be pretty early in the offseason, where Christian Parker is going to realize, I can't afford not to have this guy in the field.
Yeah.
He has to be out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because, number one, all these other guys have bad habits on them and previous defenses that they ran with whoever. They're coming in, and they've still got some Eberflus bullshit in their head about how this alignment works or these rules. Yep. Caleb Downs is coming in here from college, and he is my guy.
Yeah.
That is the guy I chose to be the conductor of this defense day one. And this is the only thing he knows on the NFL level. He is the band leader. Follow him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to steer you wrong. He knows every set that I'm going to call out there, and I need him out there always.
Yep.
I think that'd be a wonderful evolution. I don't want to put too much on him rookie year because he could get through this thing and get to the end of it and be like, you know what? That first month was kind of sucked. He didn't really cover the way we thought he was going to cover. But damn, he turned it on. Like, I'm not going to put defensive player of the year expectations on Caleb Downs. I just want him to have a good, normal rookie year where he plays in all the different formations and is a weapon for Christian Parker. Like I said, when you have this many rookies that you're expecting things out of, they take a little bit of time. They take a little while. That's why I wanted free agency to be way more higher spending and bringing dudes in. If you really wanted that immediate impact, you should have spent on it. The second dude is obviously Malachi Lawrence. They need him. They might need him more than they need Caleb Downs to have a great rookie season. Like,
I don't know if I'm there, but they need him to do something.
They need him. It's almost equal footing for me to, like, if Malachi Lawrence is a dud, this defense is going to suck. If he has a shit rookie year, if he has the same rookie year as Araku, I don't know how I'm feeling about Malachi Lawrence next year. You know what I mean?
I think that's unfair. Donovan, I mean, our guy Jake Kemp had a good piece on Donovan and like examined like, hey, there's actually a lot more good than people realize. If he has the Donovan as a rookie year, I'm happy with that. I really am. That it won't be two things can be true at once. He can have that year, and it's a very good outcome for him. And the defense still might be a mess because that's not enough because they fucked up a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And I won't put that on Malachi Lawrence. It's unfair that they will ask a pass rusher that raw, relatively speaking, even as a first-round guy, to go save you.
Yeah. You'd think they wouldn't, but they kind of are doing.
Yeah, well, you know, but I mean, sure, but they're dumb.
They shouldn't. And the other guys I'm super intrigued by is Devin Moore.
That's my name.
The corner, because they're going to need him to play at some point.
So I think the more I think about it, I think corner is the most interesting position group in the whole team.
Probably, yeah.
There's a bunch of guys.
I don't know what to make of it.
I don't know what to make of it. There are a bunch of guys that you can get real intrigued by.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I don't know what I could fall back on other than the fact that like there's more talent in that room than there's been in a while.
Yeah.
Right. You have DeRon Bland. Mm-hmm. We've seen what the peak of DeRon Bland is, albeit more in the slot. He's just not going to do that with his feet anymore.
Yeah.
So you have that guy. You have Siobhan Ravel, who was it Brian Broaddus who was on with us, who was really excited?
Yeah.
Talented guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brian knows a lot more about this than us. He's pretty fired up for him. Cool.
Last year was silliness for him. He had the giant knee brace on. I don't think he was ready.
Right. Kobe Durant. Mm-hmm. Played a really good team, led the NFL in playoff interceptions. Professional. Mm-hmm. Cool. And then there's Devin Moore. And Devin Moore, the thing with it's the Derek Lively thing.
Mm-hmm.
If he's healthy, he's going to do some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's healthy because he's never been healthy, but like every scouting report on the dude is first or second round talent, good in the room at Florida. People liked him. Dude, size, length, all of it. Can't say healthy.
Yeah.
But if this guy comes out, and there is a track record on this team of defensive backs drafted in the mid rounds, surprising people. And I'm talking about Bland. I'm talking about, even Diggs as a second round pick was not supposed to do what Diggs did, right?
Yeah.
Would it really be that shocking if Devin Moore comes in a room that's very open and if he's healthy, looks like a starter? I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't.
If he meets the opportunity, because the opportunity is there.
Yes, 100%.
Whether or not it should be or not, doesn't matter. We are down the road in which if you play your ass off and you play like people were speaking of Devin Moore, without the injuries,
yes,
then he should have a big impact on that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, for all the talk about like Siobhan Ravel and like why you can tell yourself like, oh, I believe that this could work or that. Has he really proven anything more?
No.
Like if Devin Moore becomes the guy and not Ravel, should we be shocked? No, we shouldn't be.
Yeah, he doesn't have any credits in the bank right now.
He doesn't.
You're starting from zero again.
Yeah, so that's the one for me because if I look at the other guys, like I think Drew Shelton needs time. Yeah, this is why we've talked about it in the show, and Bob Sturm wrote a whole piece about it, like how much hinges on Tyler Guyton. I like Drew Shelton. We like getting a tackle with some potential. I think there's tools there. He ain't gonna bail you out in year one. If Guyton can't do something this year, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see if Guyton does miss a game. Shelton, Nate Thomas.
I think it's probably Nate Thomas. I mean, now, granted, a lot can change in camp, right?
Yeah.
But like Nate Thomas has been around for a bit and is not adjusting to the game, and especially with Shelton being more of like a finesse guy versus a power guy right away. I wonder if there needs to be any physical reshaping. To me, I think he's more a next year deal.
Yeah. And then the short way to answer your question is I'm excited about, or I want to see all these guys because they need all of them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad and kind of weird, but you even need Barham.
Yeah.
You need Barham to play good inside linebacker. As an edge, that's kind of a luxury at this point, or just another dude over there.
Yeah.
You need him to be something as an interior linebacker. And I don't know what that is. That feels like it's like, I don't know, a step away from being a step away from him being like a real play, whatever, 50 snaps a game type guy. They need every single one of these rookies.
Even an LT Overton as a guy who I think is kind of more of a role player. If he pans out, like he's gonna be more your rotational run stuffing edge. But guess what? Like they openly talked about how like, we kind of need him to be Osa on a budget.
Yeah.
Which means you got to play.
Yeah.
So this is the bed that they made, and they got to lie in it. They have to ask a lot of rookies, even in a class that we like a lot.
Yeah.
And most draft people who are smart really like this class, right? They nailed it. They got a bunch of them. You just shouldn't ask all of them to do what you're about to ask them to do in year one.
Yeah, yeah. And you're going to be able to read that pretty quickly on what the like silent killer. It's like when nothing went wrong. It's just this rookie or that rookie isn't having like an all rookie season.
Yep.
Like Devin Moore.
Yeah.
Right. Gets injured, kind of creeps into his position, doesn't really ever deliver this season.
Basically does what a
corner's going to be bad.
Right. And all that would be, that's not a failure. That's what fourth round picks often do.
Yes, absolutely. Drew Shelton.
Needs time.
Not playable. Hey, you're going to have some games where your offensive line's going to be weird as hell.
Yep. Because you asked a fourth round developmental tackle to do more than he should.
That's the world we're in right now.
Yeah.
Barham needs a year to develop.
Yep.
Well,
tough shit.
What's your solution at inside linebacker, big boy? You ain't got one.
Nope.
You're asking way too much of all of these rookies going into their season.
Yep.
Outside of maybe Caleb Downs, which you pick that high, you come in with that pedigree, like I'm going to put some stuff on your shoulders.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's just the deal. Yeah. That's just the deal.
The rest of them, I'm like, if they have soft, uninspiring rookie seasons, that position group is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
Nope.
It's the organization's fault.
As it always is.
Yes.
Here's some organization we like. You, me, slightly biased.
Yeah.
He's going to come on. He's great. We're excited to have our homie on here. We're going to have a good time.
Welcome back. It's StrongSide. Mike Marshall, Mike Palucci, our new best friend in the building. Slightly biased. I don't know if I'm supposed to say your real name or not.
State secret.
The secret.
Which is
State
part of the
secret.
bit, which I love.
It is.
you are younger than me, younger than us, and the generation of media people that came up. So it took me a while to find your stuff. But, dude, I love your vibe. You crack me up all the damn time. I was watching the stream last night in bed, and my wife's like, what are you watching? And it took me a while to explain, but thanks for being here, man. Happy to make a new friend, and appreciate your time.
Yeah, I mean, it is always something I have to explain what it is that I do, because it doesn't really make sense when you say it out loud, because everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, it's a new time in media for sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. How did you get into this? Did you just, hey, that looks like fun, I could probably do this, or did you always had this talent that you have to be on camera?
I think I graduated college. I didn't have shit going on with my life, and then the pandemic started, and so me and my friend just started a podcast, which then sort of built its way towards just streaming a bunch, and that's what it was. But I did used to want to stream. Like, that was a thing that I saw people doing on YouTube, and I was like, that looks like fun, and I feel like I could do that. But I always wanted to do sports media. And then I had somebody at Texas Tech, one of my professors was like, dude, this shit is like on the way out, basically.
We can't say that on the magazine show,
right,
Slightly. Come on, man.
I'm not the one who said it. A
stays
professor.
Forever. It is enduring. We will have magazines printed in the year 3000.
That's right. Well, to be fair, what he asked me was, what do you want to do? I said, I think I want to be like a beat or like a sports writer. And he was basically like, do you realize how difficult that is? That's what he said. And I said, okay. And then I changed it. And then it just turned into this. But yeah, it's been kind of weird, kind of crazy.
When did you start basically doing whatever you want to call them, side-by-sides, watch-alongs, Mavs stuff?
Probably like 2021, that postseason series against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Was like one of the first times.
Okay.
But I didn't really start taking it seriously until like a few years ago.
Okay. Nice. I'm always obsessed with this concept of anything of like, okay, the aliens come down, explain to them fast food.
Yeah.
The aliens come down, explain to them.
In the case of last week, the aliens come down, you have to race their spaceship.
Well, yeah, that's a hypothetical as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
also,
But just
big on the aliens. I'm just confirming this.
I mean, they're here. They're already here.
Dude, that one video where it looks like the thing spinning in the air?
Yeah.
And they found out it was a stormtrooper balloon?
That's gnarly.
That one was sick.
That rules. But I'm obsessed with like whatever I'm doing, having to explain this to some higher power at some point that has no concept.
Yeah.
How would you explain to an alien what you do?
I usually say when people ask me what it is, I'm basically just being an idiot in front of a camera and a microphone. Like, just having fun talking about the game, saying things I'd otherwise say. I don't know why people watch it. I truthfully don't, but people enjoy it. So that's just the way that it is.
It's because you're good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to explain it, but it is just you talk in front of a camera, and
then people latch on to it for whatever
it is.
reason.
Yeah.
So you obviously, you talk about stuff that's not just the Mavs, but that's your bread and butter, and things have actually happened in Mavs land lately. So we could start there with a very simple question: how was the Jason Kidd era for you?
I mean, I probably have more respect for Kidd than most others, just because the Mavs as a franchise had been to 6 conference finals, and he coached in a third of them. They've been to 3 NBA finals. He coached in a third of them, played in another, so was involved in 2/3.
Right.
So Kidd will always have like a place in my heart.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a terrible coach.
No, I agree.
The players obviously liked him. They played hard. He's a player's coach. Don't remember anyone talking bad about him, or there ever being a moment where it was like, oh, the locker room is frustrated with him. So I don't know. My stance on coaches usually is there's like maybe 5 truthfully horrible ones in the league, and then like maybe 3 or 4 legitimately great ones, and everyone else is just good.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Kidd was at. But I was ready for a clean slate completely. So I was okay with his firing at the end of the day. But it wasn't like something I was banging the table about, really.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was the subset of people who were banging the table for it, but also probably didn't have enough context to like believe it really was going to happen. Like, there's always people who are just like, yeah, do all the things, make all the stuff happen. It's like, yeah, okay, but that's not going down right now. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, this did go down.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like even the people who, were more informed, who might have been anti-Jason, were just like, yeah, but like, are we doing this right now? He's not going away. And then magically Patrick Dumont whipped out the checkbook and was like, nah, he's going to go away.
I really wasn't surprised by the firing, because I had heard little whispers, like I hear some whispers every now and then. I don't know how many of them are true or not, so I just filter all of them and don't really talk about many of them. But like last year, it was like Kidd wants to be the GM of the team. Like I kept hearing that over and over.
Yep.
Kidd wants to run the team. And that just seemed like a complete and total shit show waiting to happen. Am I allowed to say that on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say all the words. We're good.
But yeah, I was like, this, when Masai got, I thought it was telling when Masai got the press conference, and he was basically like, Yeah, we'll see. We'll monitor the kid situation.
Right.
I was like, that sounds.
Yeah, that was everybody's first like, okay.
You're done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so he's not here. He obviously has a long track record in 3 different eras here, right? I hypothesized on this show last week that I think he might be the most complicated figure in Mavs history.
Yeah.
Am I onto something here or am I not?
I think that's pretty fair. And I think the coaching aspect of it has made it more complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's because you had the rookie, the early career, before my time a little bit. And then that was before he really became Jason Kidd, obviously. And then
It's
by
like
the time,
tail end of it, you were starting to be like, okay, this is going to live up to the hype. For
Right.
sure.
And
And then
then
he's out, and then he comes
circles back and he's an old man.
Right.
And he's not like early 2000s, one of the best point guards ever, but
They don't win that title without him.
they don't win the title without him. He completely turned into a 3-point shooter out of nowhere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes in as the coach. And, there's other off the court stuff that factors in at play
Right.
here, obviously. But yeah, it's an interesting one because
He's so complicated that not only can people not agree on whether his jersey's going to retire, you can't even agree on what number you would retire if you retired the
that's
jersey.
true. But so here's my thing with jersey retirements, right? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's just a history lesson.
Yeah.
So in that way, is Kidd not one of the most important parts of the Dallas Mavericks franchise?
Oh, I think he absolutely should have it. It just then becomes, and Mike can speak to this a lot better than most, like who's making the decisions at what time. And it's also, with every team, you set like a different bar. You look at the Lakers. The numbers up there are so high that it's like, okay, I know what the criteria is. You have to be really good and be here for a while.
Yeah.
But the Mavs is such a hodgepodge because you start with Brad Davis, right? Who is a dude who was like a loyal soldier who was here at the right time. And to your point, like very much a history lesson of who was the first guy who was here for a while. It's Brad. Put Brad's number up. Okay.
Right.
Then it was Rowe, who's like a very good NBA player, multi-time All-Star. Would he make it for the upper echelon? Like if Rowe's a Laker, does he get his jersey retired? Probably not, but still very good player, right? It's like, okay, I get that. Then you have Dirk. Obvious, every team will retire it. Then you go to, or no,
Harper's before Dirk.
Harper's before Dirk. There's another one who's like more in the Brad range, but better than Brad because he's like, everybody knew he was a good player, but never made an All-Star team, but was here for 2 stints. Then you get Dirk. Now you get Aguirre, who's like, okay, probably the second best dude on there, checkered past. So it's like you could justify anything with this team. You could sit here and say, yep, Jet should be up there. And it's like, sure, JJ Barea should be up there. I guess Finley, Kidd. Like, and so that's why it's hard to pin down what they want to do or when they want to do it. And you've been in these conversations where people probably don't know what they want to do or when they want to do it.
It's really, we can cut right to it and say the Brad Davis one's a little weird.
Yeah.
Now, I love Brad Davis. Loved him as a commentator. I love fake Brad that Skin does. But it really was just a collection of like, who was your favorite player? Random Mavericks fan?
Yeah.
And you just hit like a generator and it was like Brad Davis, Derek Harper, Rowe.
Right.
Mark Aguirre wasn't up there and I started that conversation. I feel like, I'm not going to take credit for Mark Aguirre getting his jersey
That's all right. You
retired,
can take it.
but yeah, it's cool. I will. But I started that conversation within the org, like whatever it was, 2.5, 3 years ago. I was like, we look stupid.
Yeah.
Y'all know that, right?
Right.
And it was right when Rick Welts had taken over, and I was like, hey, man, you respect history. You came from the Supersonics.
Yeah.
Like, you know what great players, what it means to everyone to respect your history and respect great players. And I was like, Mark Aguirre was the guy.
Yeah.
I love Rowe, but Mark Aguirre was the guy.
Right. Yeah.
So it is kind of just like a funhouse mirror of whatever you want to throw up there as a Dallas Mavericks fan.
Yeah. I just feel like with jersey retirements, like, I think it's just cool to have the jerseys up there. You don't necessarily have to retire. Like, nobody can wear the number. The Cowboys do that with the Ring of Honor.
Right.
And I think that's like a better way of just approaching it, where it's just like, we honor all these guys. We'll put them up in the rafters or whatever. But that doesn't mean, you can't wear the jersey. Like, I like the idea of you wear the 88 and it's like, this is supposed to be our next guy.
I've always loved that. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's just, you have to play it that. And there was like a stretch in the early 2000s.
Like Tony O'Brien?
Yeah, they were just giving that jersey number out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, if a new guy came and was like, we're going to give this guy 41
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
for the Mavs. It's a little bit different with basketball, I guess, because now you got to.
It's weird, yeah. The football thing's different, right? Because I went to USC, and like for a long time, 55 was the number like Junior Seau wore it, Willie McGinnis wore it. It's like, you're a badass linebacker, you wear 55. But then people get weird about it when somebody fails in that number.
Yeah.
And so then they haven't issued it in like 15 years because they're just like, I think and I don't like it. I like the idea of like make it a tradition to pass on and accept that some people wear better than others, but like it's part of your legacy. But, the 88 thing could have gone that way, right?
Yeah.
If Dez doesn't come around and revive it, then we're not making this into a thing for Lamb. And what if Lamb retires and you get a string of bad 88s and somebody just say, hey, maybe just keep that one on the shelf.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah. So 10 years from now, whenever we're all having little robots do our jobs for us.
Right.
And,
Can't wait.
basic income, and we've solved global warming.
Oh, basic income's coming?
Yeah,
okay. All right.
Dude,
that's progressive.
That's a big drop on here. Thanks. I'm psyched.
I'm
10 years
shocked
from
that's the
now.
direction we're going.
Look at this country getting progressive.
I know.
We got to steer back at some point. Got to yank the wheel back at some point. You think it's just going to be on level field? No, all the way back. 10 years from now, whenever we look back, I think there's going to be very polarized opinions of Jason Kidd.
For sure.
What do you think the legacy is 10 years from now, whenever he's coaching the Cavs or whatever?
I mean, it's really weird with coaches because you end up hating your coach at some point, unless you have like pop.
Yeah.
Even I've seen Heat fans are like, Spoelstra's lost it. He's just he's not. I know. Like it'll happen with Dagnall eventually. Like it always happens with these guys.
Live long enough to become the villain.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, listen. Here's the thing. Like, who knows what the Mavs are going to do in the next 10 years? Hopefully, Coop becomes who we think he can become, and the team becomes good again, and they're competing for championships. But if they don't do that, then I feel like that era of the Kidd coaching era, we looked at pretty fondly, I'd have to say. Like, obviously, yeah, Luka is mainly responsible for all of it. But, dude, those teams were, like, legitimately well coached in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, they turned it on defensively. They had, they were getting contributions from, like, Reggie Bullock, and that was, like, it for him. His career pretty much ended afterwards. So
Spencer Dinwiddie, the final fumes of Spencer.
Spencer Dinwiddie scored, like, that Suns Game 7. It was all Spencer Dinwiddie scored 30 points in a Game 7 on the road.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that game was over the moment it started, but still, I feel like it'll be remembered pretty fondly, I would say. Like, I'll remember it fondly.
Yeah, I mean, the one wild card is, like, if we didn't outright get accusations about, like, were you in on the trade or not?
Right, it's 100% it.
That's the one part. Because otherwise, I would, for sure, and I still think you're right, but I think it would be 100% right because people just forget shit after a while. And it's like, oh, they made the finals, so Jason's the coach. He's one of the great players here. Let's all forgive and forget. But now, and in 10 years, though, do people even totally ask if he was in on the trade still, or they just, enough people just remember it as Nico and maybe Dumont?
Well, what happens if Luke on the Lakers flames out or something and he goes somewhere else, comes back to Dallas, or, it just never turns into what we thought it would immediately, where it's like he's going to win 6 rings in L.A.
Yeah.
Then do we just look at the trade differently? Because I think there's even like because we call that the worst trade of all time. Like, that's what it's widely referred to as. Like, in the moment, absolutely. But, like, just looking at the way it's planned out so far, it's not worse than the Shea trade, the Paul George trade. In hindsight, like, that's like probably the worst trade I can ever imagine.
There is a scenario, and I'm not putting odds on what the scenario is. I'm not saying this is how it's going to play out, but there is a scenario in which, to your point, Luka doesn't win the stuff that everybody thinks he's going to.
Right.
Flag becomes really, really good and just a piece that's easier to build around. Not necessarily better, getting more All-NBA teams, but just I get this two-way dude who could do everything at least a B+ to A- level. That's easy to work things around.
Yeah.
The team wins, and then people who weren't here, because this is the world we live in now where people get ahistorical and forget context, they're just like, maybe Nico was right, man, and ignore the fact that, like, as Nico Harrison has tried very hard to ignore, that Cooper Flag got here by some miracle. That was a direct repudiation of what the plan was supposed to be.
Yes.
But there are probably people 10 to 15 years from now, if all that plays out, are just like, I think he was onto something. Luka really just never took the step we thought, and then Flag was here, and the team was good, and it all worked out. And it's like, no, like, don't let that take over.
But I mean, if it goes that way, that's how it will be remembered.
Yeah.
It's just like, remember how much we overreacted to that? Like, that's how it'll be looked at, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever change my opinion about the trade and what they got in return, because
nobody should. Nobody should.
So many circumstances around it, but I mean, we all knew Luka had flaws, right?
Right.
Like, you got to build a certain team around him, and I think going to the Lakers is, like, oddly enough, one of the worst things that could happen to him long term, because they
it was a lose trade for, like, everyone involved. I even think weirdly the Lakers, because it's like they were clearly signaling we're gonna let the LeBron AD era kind of just like end. And then it'll be a rebuild a little bit.
Yeah. And now, the expectations are high. It's basically the team that he had in the early years here, where it's like, okay, there's one guy and one supporting guy and a bunch of other pieces where it's like, does this work, and how much can you ask him to elevate those circumstances?
Well, they've had guys, and they've shown over decades that they can't build around those guys whenever it's just one dude and they don't get Shaq falls in their lap or something like that. And so I don't have faith in the Lakers ever getting the most out of Luka. I love the in shape stuff, love the vids, love how he's, playing a little bit more two-way stuff like that. But whenever he went to Lakers, I was like, man, this is worse for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be so annoying seeing him constantly on every national game, and then I don't think they're ever gonna win a championship or maybe even play in a finals. But for the kid thing, I'm always interested in these storylines and the ideas of somebody whenever their actual story plays out. And will it survive contact with reality?
Yeah.
Over a long enough timeline. Like if kid goes on and coaches another team and does well in that, like I'm still gonna remember he was a weird hire. He wasn't gonna be hired anywhere else. The NBA.
No, yeah, his coaching reputation was like done.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was shocking. It was shocking when it came about.
And I think he doesn't get enough credit for the fact that he actually changed. Because most of these coaches don't change. But like you can't tell me that this dude went from just utterly despised in Milwaukee and Brooklyn to like the dude that nobody will quit on. Like we talked about this last week, but it will always bear repeating. Like a big part of why everybody's pissed that they got the 9th pick is because the team would not quit for most of the season. Like they kept trying and stayed in games and stole some games they had no business stealing because like that dude gets people to play hard for him. Last year, that team should have melted down after the trade and all the injuries, and they got to the play-in. Yeah, they got smoked, but like that dude gets people to play for him. That doesn't happen. That dude in Brooklyn and Milwaukee could never have coached that out of people.
Yeah.
So he learned and he got better, and that's what we all want these guys to be when they get their 3rd or their 4th coaching jobs, and most don't.
So I guess I haven't. What is do people think he shouldn't get his jersey retired? Or I know that's been.
I don't know if there's a discourse
recently.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I was just thinking about it just as a supporting point to the whole. He's got a weird legacy. I feel like most people. I think people who are prisoners of the moment and are so feral about Luka would be angry about it now. I don't think
close proximity to the trade.
Yeah, because I mean, you still get people like. I mean, even like there have been times I'll tweet something like positive of Michael Finley, and then people will be like, he was in on it. It's like there hasn't been any shred of reporting to like indicate that at all. I think everybody likes Michael Finley,
right?
But like that's the first thing.
But
so that's let alone what kid was involved with.
That was one of my big reasons why, like Finn Cardi, respect and love to him. Finley's obviously has a place in my heart growing up watching him. Riccardi, Plano guy, that's great. I did not want them to be the GM of the team.
No,
because nothing against them. It's just there will be nonstop conversations about this till the end of time. If these guys are in. Every draft press conference, free agent press conference, someone will ask a question about it.
And I do think there's a world, because it's not like we've gotten clarification what Finley's status is yet. I think there's a world where he reverts to a different front office role, and then in a few years, nobody really cares about it with him. Like, and he becomes like a Keith Grant where he's here for 40 years. I mean, it's just like,
that's
Finley.
what he would prefer. Is to just be kind of more quiet and do his work. Yeah,
so I could see that being a pathway for him. I don't think people will hold it against him long term because, again, there's not like any real supporting evidence other than he took a beer from Luka and gave it back to him.
And people get insane about that.
Dude, they get really mad.
It's like, dude, that seems pretty normal. Like that, I mean, that was.
They also out of if 10 people get angry about it, probably 9 don't even realize he gave it back to him. He was purely just to like make sure it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, it was just for a photo.
Yeah.
Man.
I know. That was one of the craziest storylines.
Dude, everybody got like that was one of those like when we really look back and like let's remember this in 5 years. Like that's one of the sub points was like, really, we're getting that weird about the damn beer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
I
look.
agree. I always thought that was just overboard.
To your point though, new era, things are changing. Masai's here, Mike Schmitz is here, vibes. I feel like we could say they are in the right direction. What has to happen for the vibes to actually get good? Because you are a man of the people. You talk to the people who are very passionate about this team all the time. What in your mind, besides obviously like they win and flag is awesome, but like what has to get people like really in on this thing again?
I mean, I agree ultimately with. I think Nico said something similar to this, but he is right. Like winning does cure everything. Like the moment you start winning, people forget things. I mean, dude, so when the trade happened. And there was a protest outside the American Airlines Center before that Rockets game.
Right.
I went to the protest. People were pissed. Now, the funny thing I always thought was funny about this is everyone was like, okay, guys, 5 minutes till game time. Let's all go in. That's not like how a protest is supposed to work. But the protest, I went to one of the bars right there, and those first 3 quarters, it was getting pretty loud and rowdy in there when AD was going crazy. So you start to see like if you do win, people are like, okay, like it is fun winning.
Yeah.
So winning will help, but man, just talking to people, it's all over the map what people want.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I'm more of a hey, watch the Western Conference Finals and then tell me how you think this team can get to that level in 2 years.
Yeah.
Besides Coop just having becoming the best player in the world next year,
and this number 9 pick becoming like basically like. When Donovan Mitchell went, 12, that draft?
Mitchell.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of guys ahead of him but you got the right one because you scouted the right one. You need that scenario to play here.
That exact scenario. And to even have a chance, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a great chance with the Thunder that deep and Victor is Victor.
And Lively is healthy for the first time in his career, like stuff like that. Right. So I'm more of a slow play guy.
Yeah.
So a successful, like, vibes are starting to get good offseason for me is, I won't name names, but some guys get traded.
Yep.
We get some picks, some young players in the building, and maybe they're a pesky team next year.
I think
like
if
they're competitive and in the play-in, I think people will feel good about where the Mavs are going.
Yeah.
If they're 26 and 56 again, we don't have your pick.
No,
then they're just going to start to be like this is shaping up to go really poorly.
Yeah.
In the Cooper flag, like first 5 years, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as weird as it is, we did this with Luka in his rookie contract. Where we were like, okay, you get to about year 4 and you start making your decision on like, does that guy want to be here long term?
Yeah.
Like, and if you just show Cooper Flag straight up ass basketball, bad management for 5 years, does he want to like, hey, yeah, let's do another max extension and be here forever? Or, is Boston gonna come calling?
I mean, I still think it's gonna happen at some point where a player, and who, like, just with the current CBA landscape, where a player will say, I'll do the $5 million deal so I don't have to tie myself to a rookie extension here. Like at some point, don't you think a shoe company or something will say, hey, we'll pay you $100 million this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought. Because, and I think that's what would have to happen with how restricted the CBA is at this point.
Yeah.
Somebody will. I don't think he necessarily would be
I don't think it'll be.
I don't think, because if nothing else, like, I don't think it's going to be him. I don't think that the situation is getting better, not worse. So that will be enough to, when you get that kind of money, not to say no to it.
Well, that's one of the grossest things about Luke as a Laker as well, is we fought that for like the entire first and second contract.
Yeah, all the anxiety
that he would eventually go to the Lakers on his own volition, and then they give him to him.
I know, all the anxiety about what if he leaves us, and then nobody accounted for the.
What if we leave him?
Yeah.
Like that's what's nuts about it to me. That was like an extra layer of just like, no, that sucks. Okay, so we have the 9th overall pick here in like 1 month, almost exactly.
Yeah, I think it is exactly.
This might be the most important 9th overall pick in a long time for any team because we don't have one again for a while. Give me your guys that you really like in that area of the draft that you're intrigued by at least, and which one do you think would fit the best here?
So I've still got a lot of research to do. I'm making my own draft model.
Nice.
Currently.
Oh, look at you.
Talking a spreadsheet.
Okay.
My draft model.
In the sheets.
Yeah, in the sheets. I like Kingston Fleming's a bunch.
Yeah.
And he's someone who I get, like, early on was like, he'll go 5th. Like, he's the next guy after the top 4. But now with all these like mocks of people who are plugged in, he's dropping in some cases like 11.
Yeah, no, we did this with the Cowboys where we would go through, we were running through the scenarios, and we were like, someone's going to drop.
Yeah.
And if the Cowboys don't take that guy, our brains would explode. If Kingston Fleming gets to 9 and they don't take him because 34-year-old Kyrie Irving off an ACL tear is here, my brain is just going to be all over this room.
Yeah.
I can't grasp why you would not do that.
I mean, I think because I think he ended up with like a 6'3" wingspan or something, which isn't great, but that would be sort of the Masai didn't trust the length and the size, but I just think he's sort of perfect for what you need because he's a great athlete at his size, and he got after it defensively. And the whole thing with these Houston guards is all of them end up getting into the league and at the very least are scrappy defenders.
Right.
And if they trust you as a freshman in that system to just give you the car keys, like there's something about you.
Yeah.
That because that's the one thing about the Thunder is like Presti, he makes good picks, but like they pick based off of this guy's going to come in here and do whatever we ask of him and work and be a competitor.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that the Mavs need to shift towards as well. Is like we need dogs in here.
Yeah.
Scoop's a dog.
Right.
Kingston seems like a dog. I like him a bunch. I'm not in on Burries that much, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Currently,
okay,
a lot can change in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
whatever the spread,
whatever
we crunch the numbers again.
Yeah,
maybe Burries flies up, but I'm just worried about him because he's at that size where it's like he's not a point guard, and then he's kind of small for a 2 guard.
The thing that sells me on him a little more is the rebounding numbers are crazy.
Yeah, he does everything,
and he hustles, and like that's why I'm with you. Like I look at a 6'4", he has to be an off guard, secondary ball handler, but like he averaged 5.5 boards a game at that size.
Yeah,
and like you don't do that unless you were working and unless you were smart. And like you watch some of the tape on him, and like the way he just is aggressive in certain areas. Like, is it the champagne outcome? No. But in a world in which the chalk top 7 is the chalk top 7 and Mikael Brown goes 8, there are worse plays at 9.
Yeah, I feel like he is locked in as a Mav if all that happens.
Well, what Sam Vecini had made an interesting point, and I think we think the world of Sam on this show. Sam was like, look, Schmitz is an Arizona guy. Schmitz will know every little thing about him that you could ever know about him. So if you take him, it's kind of just like, all right, you just got to trust that Schmitz knows what he's doing here, because like this is his lay of the land.
I didn't even put that together.
I would not have either, but that's why Sam gets paid the big bucks.
That's right.
The 9th overall pick, people do confuse it for like an elite blue chip pick.
Right,
and they start reaching for dudes. And for me, like the thing with 9 or just this player in general, whatever you turn it into, if you move back and want to get Yaxel or something like that, it's go get me a dude that's a goddamn demon.
Yeah.
Like, I want Cooper Flagg and this guy to piss everybody off for the next 3 years whenever they're not good, and then they get good.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, yeah, this guy, we have a rivalry now with this guy because he plays so effing hard and he's so annoying. You got to set the tone.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get some kind of cornerstone in this franchise. You just have one sitting here, and like the other 3 pegs of the chair are just kind of like loose and falling off.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get something, either identity, or I think it's kind of silly to reach for elite upside at 9. In your scenario, if one of those dudes falls, which happens every single year.
Someone's going to fall 100%.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. Yeah.
It completely depends on what the reason is.
Yeah.
Maybe there's stuff we don't know about
Right,
Kingston
true.
Flemings or something, but I think reaching for like the upside of all upsides at 9 is kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
Because you can leave there empty-handed, and then you're sitting there next year and you watch a fun little draft go by. And you sit there the following year and you watch a fun little draft go by.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what did we get for that 9th pick? Oh, we got Anthony Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
A player
Right.
like that where you're just like, I don't know, could be fun at some point.
Yeah.
But I think just like bring those dudes in here, find the one that's an absolute psycho that wants to, you know, die on the hill with Cooper Flagg, and that's my dude.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I agree with that 100%. But Burries does seem like a dog. Kingston seems like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even, who is the upside play at 9? That's the one thing where I'm like, Nademan.
Phylon, right? Probably.
See, I like LeBaron.
You
quite
like?
a bit.
You like
Well,
Phylon,
he
okay.
the way he can get to the rim,
Mhm.
like completely unassisted and driving is pretty special stuff.
Yeah.
And that Stanford kid,
Mhm.
Corey,
Mhm.
he's something. I mean, right now he's like projected in the 20s, but he's somebody who I could see like a team just being like, no, he's way better than that.
Are you, because the student is polarizing, if Darius Acuff gets to 9, are you in or you not in?
So 9 is a different story for me because I was very strongly anti-A-Cuff for a long time. But in those conversations, it was pre-lottery. It was even like during the season when we didn't even know where the Mavs were.
Yeah.
So it was like the 5th overall pick.
Right,
We used
yeah,
it
yeah.
On A-Cuff. And I was like, no, just because of the
He plays no defense.
right. He plays no defense, and people use Jalen Brunson as an example, but it's like, okay, well, Brunson's one of one.
Mhm.
He's like the best of all of these guys. So
Yeah.
you have to project him being the best of all of these guys.
Yeah.
And the Knicks have spent years putting OG Anunoby, who's one of the was he first team all defense? He made an all defense team, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
One of the 10 best defenders in the league, and Mikal Bridges like maybe one of the 15 best defenders in the league.
Right. Yeah.
And painstakingly building that team
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the point where it is now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe you could do that, but zero things can go wrong with those type of guards.
Mhm.
Like seriously,
Right.
everything has
Well,
to go wrong.
yeah. No, but to your point, 9's a different ball game.
9
At
is
5.
different. 9 you can talk yourself into the
I can talk myself into that dude does everything offensively
Right.
that I want,
Yeah.
and like maybe just don't suck on defense.
Yeah.
Can we work to don't be ass?
because like at that point you're just saying, can you is your offense good enough to separate you from like Brayden Burries?
Which I think the answer would be a
The
clear
answer
yes.
would be yes, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If Coop was in this draft, do you think he's the first player?
So I have a love affair with Cam Boozer.
Okay.
Oh, so that's your guy.
That's my guy. but
More
I
than
think
DeBanson,
Coop- I think
more than
Coop
Peterson?
would be 101 though for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not even sure Dylan Harper, who I thought was incredible as a prospect.
Oh, yeah. Dylan Harper's like what, 8 in the
Yeah.
draft, something like that.
See, like I'm not even sure that.
Really?
I think he'd probably be top 3.
Mm.
Oh,
Like, but it's hard because like we just think of these guys because we've seen Dylan Harper.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
like, going into him with him as a prospect of mine, with just how good he was at getting to the rim,
Mm-hmm.
I could see for a scenario for me because AJ is always going to be a guy that I'm scared of. That type of player will be a player that I'm scared of always. Where it's just like, why did you only block like 8 total shots?
Mm.
Okay.
And with your athleticism and size,
Yeah.
Okay.
like how does that happen?
Like selective.
Yeah, and that's one of those
athleticism guy.
things that like the math has been done. Our guy Istok Franco has shown that math a lot of times at D Magazine. Like you don't tend to pick that up in the pros. If you're not getting stocks in college, you're probably not doing that in the NBA.
That's a big thing. Where people are like, the same thing with Acuff. Here's the reality: Acuff's gonna be one of the worst offenders in the NBA.
Yeah,
like he's not going to come into the league and is like, guys, I'm ready to start playing now.
I'm ready
in the NBA.
Nope.
That's not happening.
Nope.
So those guys,
let me get after it on D.
And that's the thing about Cam Boozer's like. Of course, he's not a great athlete. I mean, AJ's a one-of-one athlete, and I think he'll be really good in the NBA because he's just insane at that size. But Cam Boozer did play defense and graded out as a good college defender, all of that.
I do agree that like there's a lot of stuff with him that's starting to get nitpicked that feels a little unfair.
You know what it feels like to me? Feels like 2018.
Okay.
Where it's just like, here's this guy who, he doesn't jump out of the gym, and there's other guys in the draft who do jump out of the gym and are physical specimens, but like this guy was just the best player. Like Cam Boozer was the best player last year. Luka was the best player in 2018. But it was like, well, you can't do this athletically. I just think the Cam Boozer stuff we're going to look back on. I'm just going to be like, we overthought that one pretty badly.
Okay. Yeah. Which is saying a lot because like I think people are deservedly optimistic about Debanza, and there is now a solid narrative in place for whatever the hell went on with Darren Peterson. And if
he's giving you a story at least.
And if you believe that narrative and that won't be a problem, then I don't think there's a skill reason to be worried about Darren Peterson. Like, it's obviously a great draft.
So I would argue this. Like,
okay, all right.
This was part of the reason why, obviously, for them to get a really
I could see the tinfoil hat on you right now. This is your thing.
Well, this is why part of the big reason why I wanted the Mavs to go top 4 picks. I'm like, it's going to be so fun talking about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you're a Jazz fan or a Wiz, it has to be a blast just talking about this.
Yeah, all your materials on the cutting room floor now.
Yeah. So now I'm just inserting myself.
Now we're just getting the whole agenda. Okay, all right. So Darren Peterson, give me like the anti-Darren Peterson case.
If you're wanting to draft that guy top 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And Darren Peterson's like, in most drafts, clear cut, draft him top 2, number 1, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a very strong draft. You want him to be the lead guard, right? Like, you want him to be like, come Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
His 2-point scoring was very not good at all.
Yeah.
And his playmaking was bad. And I've listened to it. I've talked with Kansas guys on the show, and they're like, it's a system and this, that. And it's like, you just didn't get any assists, though. So like at some
just give me one.
Yeah, at some point, can I
like
really see those flashes of like you being a guy who can be the point guard or just like the Anthony Edwards type? And even then, Anthony Edwards is like, you watch them play and they get to the conference finals or they get to deep in the playoffs. It's like, man, they really need an actual point guard.
Yeah. The best version of that team was when Conley was still in the last legs, but he could do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even this year, with like Mike Conley, they had to get his ass out there.
Just
great pop,
wheel him out there.
Yeah.
With this walker just inching up the court. But it's hard with that archetype. I grant you. I just like the fact that you're this convicted that Boozer's the best guy.
Well, my thing is just like, so you're right. They nitpick everything with Cam Boozer. It's like, well, you can nitpick everything about any of these guys.
True.
It just seems like no one really.
Well, I think we're predisposed to, and again, this goes to your Luka parallel. We are predisposed to be, how do I put this, sympathetic for the athletic guys who have to develop the skills and not the skilled guys who for the athleticism, because a lot of the times they can't.
Right.
But what we often ignore is like, what if you're just a basketball super genius and it won't matter and you can figure it out? Luka's a basketball super genius. I'm gathering that you believe that Cam Boozer has that kind of potential intellectually to make the limitations not matter much.
So that's another thing with the 9th pick is it's like you watch the Thunder and they've got good athletes who get after it, but some of those guys aren't. Like Shea's not even that great of an NBA athlete.
Right.
Some of those guys aren't, but they're very smart and they make the right play over and over. The Celtics were the same way whenever they had their fantastic team a couple years ago. Like the Warriors were like this. Like all of these guys are just geniuses. So that's like with the 9th pick, give me like a supercomputer guy who can just process stuff. That's why I like Bennett Sturtz. I don't know if I draft him 9th overall at this point, but like just he's older. He doesn't jump out of the gym or anything, but he just makes the right play every single time. And those are guys where it's like, that's how Coop is though too. He's like a super genius.
Yeah.
That was like his whole thing as a prospect. Cam Boozer, I think, is like that for sure.
Okay.
I think we phased out most of the GMs that would do just like wild ass stuff and like do like what I'm talking about,
which is part of why the league is less fun now.
Yeah,
we need more dummies out there.
That's 100%.
There's no Vlade.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no just like weird.
Even the Wizards are starting to do stuff that makes sense.
The Wizards are doing good. Yeah,
it's like you're one of the last holdouts of dumb people.
And it's fun because you look at the 8 before the Mavs and it's like, all right, well, one of these teams will make a dumbass pick for sure. I'm like. I don't know.
They all got nerds now.
Yeah.
But the nerds then get too excited about the combine thing. That's the new dumb inefficiency. It's like Kingston's wingspan isn't so good. It's like, cool, pass on him.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah. But I mean, like my like I'm wild ass GMC. Like I think Darren Peterson's like kind of a bot. He's just kind of a robot basketball player.
You like that?
No, I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that's a derogatory bot.
Okay.
Derogatory.
I didn't know if you're gonna go like because some people are like, I like the Kawhi types that are just go out and terminate things.
No, I mean there's one dude that's done that, and that's
Yeah,
Kawhi.
100%.
I don't like the rest of them that move like him. I don't know how he gets his shot off ever. I'm like, I would block that if you were against me. I know exactly where you're going, and then he gets it off every time.
Yep.
But Peterson, like, there's just enough noise and enough weird shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's a bot.
Yeah.
Derogatory. Where I would be sitting there like 3 and just be like, yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah.
keep on pushing, big boy.
Yeah.
On down the board. And the creatine thing, I'm like, brother, did you not read the back of the bottle?
Yeah,
like,
that's just.
I also wonder what is Kansas's medical staff doing?
I know.
haven't
when,
figured out creatine.
Like this is your whole there
Kinda
are
your job.
Yeah, there are 3 men's basketball programs that fund an athletic department the way that football does everywhere else. This is one of them.
Yeah.
This is the big game in town. If you are the Kansas athletic basketball trainer, you kind of got to know your stuff with the number 1 player in the country.
Yeah.
How does this happen? And it could just be, again, like, let Occam's razor this. It's not that they don't know. It's that, is this a real story? And is this true?
That's it.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of in the mind where it's just like, yeah, it'd make me a little nervous, but I also would be very nervous not taking him. And he just goes super scion in the league. I'm like, oh, we really overthought that shit because he was an 18-year-old being a dum-dum.
Yeah.
But who's to say?
You take creatine?
No, I've never
taken it. You've never taken it?
I don't think so, but yeah.
I'm doing a lot of drugs. I don't know if creatine's
there's a
in
lot
there.
of powders going in. But have you ever had like a full body cramp though?
No, not full body. No.
I have once. It is something that just like lingers in your mind a tiny bit when you like start to feel a little cramp. You're like, it's
coming back.
Again.
Nah, never had one. I will get cramps. Like I'll get like ab cramps
Yeah.
and different arms and legs, but no, I mean that's just like a crazy thing to be.
I agree ultimately where it's like that's what the story is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the thing with the NIL and stuff now is it's like all of these players' camps are going to be like, yeah, we got our money. Like we don't really owe shit to. I didn't come to Kansas because I'm like a rock chalk Jayhawk. I got to win.
Yeah, I know.
School. Like,
Right.
I just you guys paid me the most. I'm going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Like my hamstring hurts.
Sorry, man, can't help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Yep.
There's some. I don't know. I haven't like dug deep into this, but there were some people that I remember like were DMing me who are Louisville people and were like, this Mikel Brown Jr. back thing is like a little.
So he's fully clear now. I mean, that's the dude. That might be the guy where if he is cleared, he could just jump a bunch of people, and that's what pushes Kingston down. Because obviously, of all those guards, Mikel was the one who tested well and has the combine. People will be like, ooh. And you start looking at the best moments. Like that NC State game was bonkers.
Well, I mean,
it's like
a guard will be there because the team will take a day tomorrow 100% in the top 8.
And
I
hope so.
Yeah, and I'm still not like one of these wings. I'm just not convinced it's going to be all guards in a row. Just not how.
there's just not enough wings, though.
I know, but I think like guys like Swain is just like a team could fall in love with that.
I mean, for all we know, this could be that team, right? This was the team that was like Scotty Barnes. They're doing what now when Jalen Suggs is on the board?
I like these guards. I like
Murray
these
Boyles last year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like you sort of with the 2 people they assembled to make the decisions. You just even if we all sit here and go like, you passed to Kingston Flemings, it's like you just kind of have to trust them.
Yeah.
Like they've hit too many times,
Right.
and this is the thing that they do.
And it'll be telling too, because it's like, do they view this as we have to get a guy who's going to come in and immediately start, or is this going to be like we're cool with waiting a little bit on like Swain, or God forbid Nate Amid.
That's the thing that's kind of killing me listening to, not you, but like, our friends over at DLS are like doing draft previews. And they're like, well, how would this guy fit next to Kyrie? That guy plays PJ's position.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, I'm so far in the future
Yeah.
that these guys aren't on the team in my version of this team.
Yeah,
Those guys might not be on the team in the real version of the team in a few months.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. No, you can't make any choices. That's why, like, to me, like, because I've heard people and like, like people saying like, oh, well, the Kyrie's around. If this is the only good pick you have for a while, and you think you have your offensive initiator there at 9, you have to do it.
Well, and then the nice thing about Kyrie is it's not like you have another guard really on the roster. So if Kyrie has to play 2.
Yeah, you can play him off ball.
You can play
him off ball. You can stagger minutes. You can figure it out even if he does stick around. Like it would be tremendously uncreative if you think that answer is there and this is the last good pick you have for a while.
I'm even like a pro Yaxel.
That was the show last week.
You are?
Let's go. Oh yeah.
That was a whole segment last week about like why not Yaxel.
Yeah.
My thing with the Yaxel is just like partly like I mean, one, the age thing, but whatever. We all know that.
He's old.
He's old. We have that thing.
He is old.
Yeah,
right.
Like, this is like he's 21.
Yeah.
Right. Old.
My other thing, and like this is a part that like there are both sides of the argument, which we had this conversation. It's like he's basically profiles as like he's not PJ, but he's very PJ adjacent.
Yeah.
PJ didn't fit great with Cooper Flagg. On the other hand, as he pointed out correctly, when you don't have any offensive creation and you have no spacing, nobody's going to look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
matter.
my question, but here's the thing. I think there is just enough doubt that I'm like, could this work? Will this work? I don't know. It might and it might not. That, again, if it's your last good pick for a while, am I betting on the 24-year-old dude that I don't know for sure is going to fit?
Yeah, that's fair.
But then what will happen is he'll get to 12 and he'll be on the Thunder, and then everybody will just despise everything because he'll be a monster.
Yeah, Yaxel on the Thunder would be a nightmare.
Oh, so it's going to suck.
Even the Hornets, if he makes it to 14. I mean, my thing with Yaxel and PJ, because I agree, and that's like a thing people say is the Yaxel PJ fit. I'm not convinced totally that Yaxel won't just be better. Player.
No, but no, I'm
year.
kind of assuming he will be better, and I'm kind of assuming PJ probably won't be around. It's not about Yaxel versus PJ. It's PJ didn't fit well with Flagg. Will Yaxel fit well with Flagg? And there are a lot of ways the answer could be yes, and there are a lot of ways in which the no's were colored by circumstances that won't be as bad on the roster next year, i.e. point guard play will be better than Brandon Williams and Ryan Nembhard. But if you are gambling your last pick, are you sure?
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, the idea of Yaxel as a safe pick in this context might not be as safe as people want it to be.
That's a good point, actually. I hadn't really thought about it like that.
I don't know if you can look at individual picks as if I don't have one for a while, though.
I think
that's like putting. I think you got to make the best player the best pick.
So would you guys draft the Damara number 9 if you're just like that's our guy, and then we'll figure out our center, someone's the odd man out?
I mean, obviously we have to know what the board is, right?
Yeah.
But like, if he's there, are we assuming like if it's him or Burries, it's defensible? If it's him or like Kingston gets there, no, I'm not doing that. You know.
So if it's the death gauntlet of the 4 and then the 4 guards and then Michael fits in there, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're assuming like Mikel would probably, if you're saying the second round of 4, I would think Mikel goes 8.
Yeah, it's like Kingston, Mikel, A-Cup, and Wagler.
Right. So then at that
like,
point, you're talking Burries, you're talking Ament, you're talking Mara, you're talking Yaxel.
So those guys versus Adai Mara. I mean, if Smits tells me he's the best player,
yeah,
like,
that's kind of
I'm fine.
If those
I'm
8 guys are off the board, I don't think you can emotionally compel me to get angry about any choice. It's if one of those, and I would even say, like, let's say A-Cuff gets there at 9. I'm pro A-Cuff. I also would not be angry if they didn't take him because I would get it.
Yeah.
If I don't think there's any way Wagler's there. If Wagler was there and they passed on him, I would be like, what are you doing?
The table.
See, like one of those guards is gonna be like the media was just way higher. Like teams are just like, oh, we don't want that type. I could see Wagler weirdly being with the frame, like he's so skinny. Where teams are just like, that's not gonna work.
There's so many Halliburton vibes though.
There is.
Yeah.
We need more weird GMs.
I know. Well, no, like, and this is the thing, like.
We need like Merez Johnson. We like how hard he plays.
Like the cut of his jib.
This is like this is what's made the league different for me, and part of why I don't love it the way I used to 15, 20 years ago is like you have a lot of group think about like an accepted thought about this is what is valuable, this is what is not valuable. You combine that with the CBA that's getting increasingly constrictive. Combine that now with if this lottery proposal passes, people are not going to be trading picks like they used to.
Yeah, that's going to be
everybody's going to be hoarding picks constantly. So you are going to get a lot less movement and dynamism of like within kind of the hierarchies of the league because everybody's going to think the same. Everybody's going to be scared to do something different because if you fuck up, you don't have outs anymore. And among the many, 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 many things that this league has broken with it, just on a like, this is how you're branding it, and these are the choices you make, and these are the conflicts you have also of stuff that's kind of out of your control, like the whole like guys aren't playing enough because they're broken from AAU. If you don't have a strategically interesting league, like at least with baseball, there's so many players and farm systems and stuff can change. Football,
there's different ways to win. Yeah, there's different ways to win.
Well, but like baseball, I think people agree on value, but baseball, you have so many more players and so much more variance. Basketball, it's 15 guys, but really 12. There's only so many who really matter. And the minute you start making that more constricted and there's fewer ways to get out of it and everybody thinks the same way, how's anything changing? How's anything getting shaken up? And that's a bad consumer product, even before all the other ways this is becoming a bad consumer product.
Agreed.
It's interesting because I ultimately agree with what you're saying. I think every team goes into it thinking we need this type of player, but then the interesting thing about the NBA is every superstar is just so vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that part's true.
What do you think of? So then, because of that, every team ends up playing, like conforming to the style of their superstar. So that's when it's like you look at the 4 teams in the conference finals. It's like, well, the Spurs are obviously built around a player that we've never seen in our lives before.
Yeah, right.
The Thunder are just they can't be replicated. They're like when teams are like everyone's trying to copy the Warriors. It's like you're never going.
It's
to
not going to
achieve
happen.
that.
No.
Like people are probably never going to achieve the Thunder being able to have like 12 great defenders on the floor.
Yeah,
like, whenever they want,
and like a hyper ridiculously efficient scorer as the lead guy, and like. I always feel for poor Chet because I'm like, if Victor weren't around, everybody talk about it, appreciate how much of an alien that guy is.
Dude, I had this conversation with my chat. People were like, would you rather have Paolo or Chet? And I'm like, easily Chet. And they're like, is the number one option? I'm like, yeah, I don't want Paolo as my number one option anyway. So I'll just take the ridiculous defender.
No, I do agree with that, but I think some of that does get mitigated by just the larger problems with the league. And also kind of basketball culture, right? So like I did a story with Tim Martin, who's Victor's trainer, among a bunch of other badass dudes in the league. And Tim is like the best private skills trainer out there. But doing that story and talking to Tim about this world, it's just like, yeah, none of these guys, the NBA doesn't practice, right? We all know this. There isn't time for practices. But everybody who's coming up just doesn't even play 5-on-5 anymore. And all they're doing is polishing their skills one-on-one. And he's like, people like me kind of have perpetuated the problem because like, yeah, I can make you more skilled. And the league is more skilled than it's ever been. Mike Procopio, who used to work for the Mavs, he and I talked about this a lot too. He's like, they're more skilled than they've ever been, and none of them have basketball sense anymore because they're not playing. And so you create this world where it's like, yes, they all play differently around the star, but they're also running very basic sets. Like Steve Clifford had this clip when he was coaching the Hornets, and he talked about this, and somebody asked him about sets, and he's just like, I mean, to be honest, guys, kind of everybody's running a lot of the same stuff. Like Miami will do some different things, but more or less we're all kind of doing different things, and then the execution gets different. And so like you factor all of that in, and then it's like, man, this is... And some of this stuff is like, it's hard to solve, right? Like the NBA can't solve for how people go about learning the skills before they get to the league. The NBA can't solve for like, we all sit here and say these guys should play more games. Well, their knees are getting ground to dust because they specialize to play basketball from the time they're 8 onward and stop playing anything else. And any college and pro coach will tell you that's terrible, but there's too much money in the game to prevent that. So then by the time they're older in their late 20s, their bones are just falling apart. You can't fix that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what you do and what your way out of it is. I just think it gets exacerbated when you don't have as many dumb people who are wild cards and you have a system that constricts all the smart people, and the smart people all see value the same way. Like part of why there won't be another Thunder team is because the conditions aren't right to create it. Not even just will you find the defenders. Nobody will be able to compile that many assets.
No one will make those trades.
No one will make those
trades. No one will
trades.
give you all that shit.
Yeah. Superstars are not going for what they will go for anymore. And there's something to be said for that, I guess. But like now, are we going to head for a world if this new lottery tanking reform passes? Are we just not going to have bold trades, period, because everyone's afraid to move their picks?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I don't see this getting better. I just see ways this gets more narrow and worse.
Well, our conversely is it teams now look at 1 pick might be the value of 2 picks,
right?
The way the lottery is. So maybe there's more player movement because maybe it's just like, that 2031 pick. I'd rather have that than the 28th pick in this draft, and
maybe, but then you also have to factor the CBA part in there. I think they need to rip that up in the next when that ends. That they can't stick with that system.
I think it's going to get really bad for the players soon because restricted free agency at this point, I have literally always wondered this. And I know it comes down to like relationships with agents and shit. But like, I would never, like we had this conversation about Derek Lively because he's extension eligible. It's like, well, unless he takes some stupid discount, we're letting that go to restricted free agency.
Yeah.
And if he plays great and a team is willing to pay him a bunch, cool, we'll match that because that means you had a great season.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd never understand, like, Christian Brown. When the Nuggets gave that contract, I'm like, why on earth would you give that contract out? Like, what kid, he realistically can't play better than he just did.
Yeah.
So, if you think that's his value now, that would be his value next year. And then he had a terrible season this year. And now it's like, oh, shit, this might be
You're stuck,
This might be a bad contract.
Well, listen, Christian Brown, if you hear Christian Brown, he's the vocal leader of the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, that's great. I could find that. I could get DeAndre Jordan for vet minimum to come be the leader of my team in the locker room.
For all that the Nuggets did right, and like the miracle that is Jokic for them and just for the game at large, they do some dumb shit.
No, I don't even think they just got bailed out by Jokic.
Yeah.
And then the Aaron Gordon trade, which was that saved their team.
Well, it could have gone either way. Like I swear to God, it was just like it could have been like, you idiots made the Aaron Gordon trade. Or it's like, Okay, Aaron Gordon found a second life.
I mean, that was either like a stroke of luck or like some genuine brilliance where like that guy can come and be like the best role player in the league.
Yeah, I like that lineage of trades too, because it was him and then PJ basically became the next thing.
Yeah.
And then one of my few smart NBA calls was when that happened, I was like, Denny Avdia will be the next one. And then Denny Avdia, Mike Schmidt's acquisition. But so like if you're smart, you could find that. And I do think that like if it gets more restricted and everybody starts getting aggressively draft to develop and don't take chances, the Mavs have a good front office to approach that problem with.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit ahead of that curve.
Yeah, I think so.
With these two guys, I assume, I mean, I'll see what they do at head coach and see how they treat 9 and 30 and 48 or whatever. Like, you got to prove a little bit to me, but I think Masai and Schmitz are, you know, whatever they say, at least for a year or two, I'm like, okay, probably right.
Yeah. I'll give them definitely the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Do you think coach is going to be I go back and forth. Is this going to be a sexy young hire or like a?
I think it's going to be young. I could very much see it being like Micah Nori.
Yeah. The Sweeney thing is like,
I think it's
too close.
I think there's a little wish casting. Like, oh, Sean was here and we like Sean.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's just copy and pasting your take from whenever you wanted. Kid ran out of town. Well, bring Sweeney in here, get Kid out of here, and get Sweeney back in here and do this. And you're just like hanging on to the remnants of a Sweeney take 2022 or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I think like at the end of the day, you can't assume like what is the point of getting that big coach in now when you don't have the roster? Yeah. Because they might get burned out of hearing that voice in 3 years when you're actually ready.
Right.
Get the young guy in, somebody could develop.
I like that. I agree.
And then in 3 years, if it's working, cool, keep him. And if not, then you can bounce him and get the big name in when the roster's ready to do something.
Yeah. I was just thinking with how they've operated, everything that they've done pretty much with like, we need a PR person. Let's go find one of the best one. We need like a guy to handle the business side. Let's go get one of the best ones. Like, that's where I feel like they might be leaning more towards, let's just go get an established guy. But I don't even know who that is. Like, looking
that's
at
the thing. Who's out there? Okay, so like you
want know it.
I was like, do you want
Stock's on the way?
Well, like perfect example. Like, I don't want Tibbs around this team right now.
No, I don't want Tibbs either. I've heard
I would want Tibbs if this team were close.
Yeah.
And you need some guy to crack the whip and get him further. But I don't want him running Cooper Flagg's 19-year-old legs.
Yeah.
It's because he's not gonna have the talent to work with to maximize the stuff that he does anyways.
Billy Donovan's the only one where I'm like,
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
He's better than I think his reputation is because of he's just been with those horrible Bulls rosters.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing, and you're not wrong that like they've wanted the best of everything, but I think part and parcel to the Masai deal is like, okay, you got the best of that. You gave him a crazy amount of power to basically tell you to get out of the way. Masai very well might tell you, don't take the name.
Right.
Trust me, we're going to get the young guy. And that's, if I had to guess, that's what I bet he would want to do.
There's this, he's not young, but it's a European guy. I forgot his name.
Okay.
That apparently.
That's exotic.
Apparently,
I like that.
Masai's had like ties to in the past. And he's like one of the premier EuroLeague coaches.
Oh,
like,
okay.
One of these insane European coaches.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And somebody definitely knows the name, but it like will yell at the players and shit. And I saw his name get brought up, and I don't know if it was a Stein article. It's just like hey, here's a name like that Masai has liked in the past.
All right.
Because he's gone the European route.
I think it's going to be something that's not going to be sexy, and that's completely fine.
Yeah, I think I've always thought this with coaches and GM hires where it's like, unless this person has a proven track record of being bad, then like, I don't really.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Immediately.
I mean, you're about to play a lot of bad basketball.
Yeah.
At least for like 50, 60 games of a season moving forward. Like, you don't want a guy that's already tired.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Like, we don't want to do that's. You don't want a Steve Clifford in here that's already run down and just like snapping at reporters game 35 whenever you lost a 10-point lead. Need a guy that's still going to be in love with it.
Right.
If they go 30 and 52 this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need good vibes at all turns at this point. Okay, so we all know Cooper's Cooper. I don't think we have to belabor that point too much about he's obviously the core piece there. Do you buy, we've asked a few different Mavs minds this, do you buy that there is anybody else, let's not even include the 9th overall pick here, right? Because that's an obvious core piece. Is there another obvious core piece in this roster, or are you just like, anybody here, I'm totally down to move them? And if that is the answer, what's the closest thing to a core piece in the rest of this group?
I mean, I think Lively's a core piece through and through. The only thing is like he's played a third of his career games.
That is a thing.
So that makes it to where if a team like the Hornets or someone who like needs a long-term center is just like, yeah, we'll overpay for him.
Yeah.
Then you have to consider that. Mm-hmm. But I think Lively's like a top 45 player in the league when he's out there.
Okay.
He's just that impactful. Like if he plays 65 games this season, he will make an all-defensive team. Guaranteed. Like, I think that's where he's at. Mm-hmm. Like, he will be an all-defense top 10 defender in the league no matter what guy if he plays.
been so long since I've seen him play. That I'm like, I don't know. If
I mean, that's the problem.
Like, he's my dude. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love D-Live. I mean, before this era, like I was probably closest with Jalen, and then got closer with Luka over time and Maxey over time. The dude that of this area that's like going to be actually here.
Yeah.
When the next coach gets hired, is D-Live, and he's the sweetest dude that's ever lived. And I'm in his corner every single time, but I'm like, brother, at some point you got to play the basketball.
I know.
It pains me that his body does this to him.
I know.
And it sucks, dude.
It does. It's horrible. Sucks. And it's one of those things, too. He's like a legit 7'2".
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's huge. I mean, those injuries just aren't going to magically disappear.
And that's why it's also a thing where, to go briefly back to your draft point, if they take Mara at 9, that makes me think that they know a lot of things about those medicals that scare them.
Or it's more so just like, we can't rely on him much. It's not bad to have another guy in here, and like Gafford's pretty expendable, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was arguing on the internet about Gafford the other day.
I was with you.
You were there. There
we were punching the same guy.
Yeah, idiot. There's some guy who's just like, why doesn't Daniel Gafford fit the time? Like, brother, he's 28.
Yeah, there's no
timeline. I also there's a whole stylistic thing too of like, he was a Luka player. He doesn't really. I think we don't know what this next iteration of a team looks like because the one guy we know who's on it could do anything. But like, I find it hard to believe he's really gonna fit what that is, even at the age timeline we're good. Like, he's a 6'9" dude who jumps real high and is a demon on the boards. Like, get him somewhere where he can run lobs. Ship him to LA. Swallow your pride. Get something back from LA. Just get him out there.
So that to help me answer your question more, like outside of Lively, and even again, if a team just like we'll take the chance on them, we'll blow you away with an offer. All right, there's no anyone else on this team could be traded for me, just because everyone else, like most of those guys were brought here, like you said, to be with a different player,
right?
A different team, and their value is probably higher elsewhere in the league.
Yeah.
Like Gafford can maybe start for like a super center hungry team.
Yeah. But
at the very least, as a backup big on really any of these teams,
you'll get a return for him. You'll get a return for PJ. You'll get a return for Najee. You'll get a return for most of these dudes. Bobby Karalla made the point. The name that is interesting is Christie, because that's one where it's just like, all right, young wing shooter, cheap. But also, like, so how good is he?
Yeah, I don't, because he was on lockdown a couple times, so he's just like, I don't want to, like, to me, Christie's kind of a jag.
Okay,
and I don't mean that, and like I don't see the next steps in the development cycle. That was like fun at first after the trade. It was like, this guy could be Shea of this trade. He just doesn't have the wiggle. The best case scenario is this is like, your 7th guy, maybe on like a great or like a good team, the 5th best starter. But even then, it's like, he's contract extension eligible. Yeah. So what does that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Is it really me that much pain?
So I agree with, like, it shouldn't be. But if it's like in the 20s, so you can't do that.
Well, I agree with that. I just don't think it'll get there.
No, I think mid-level's fine.
Best version of Josh Green.
Yeah, like, I mean that's really.
I've never gotten the Max Christie intrigue besides trying to convince ourselves.
He makes jump shots.
He's young. Like every every fan base, I've learned this because I was talking with the Sixers fan. I was telling me about Justin Edwards. It's
Hell
just like
brother.
Any young guy is you're just gonna gravitate to.
Yeah.
Well, young guy, and I also think like the context of young guy who could hit shots on a team where nobody else could hit the shots. People are just like, this guy.
Yeah, but even then, there's an AJ Johnson stretch. I'm like,
that was what's going to bleed.
No offense to him. But
no.
This is not an NBA player.
Yeah, no. When people were like trying to talk about AJ Johnson, my whole thing was like, look, I think Bagley could be an interesting depth big for next year. That if there's a player that's sticking around in this deal, it's that guy. Don't do the AJ Johnson thing yourself. It's not.
When we were pushing the Christie propaganda after the trade.
You had to push something.
We were turning the levers.
What else is to push? You had to do
something. From inside the team, we were like, post every goddamn Max Christie highlight that happens. Twice.
This one 4 times.
Twice. I want the fucking videographer cut and I want the game angle.
Perfect.
Give me both of them.
You had to do that.
Yeah. We didn't lose this trade that bad, I swear.
But the Christie thing is, even when he was making like 40% of his threes, it's like, okay.
Cool, man.
But like nothing, it didn't feel like there was much else happening. He's not an elite defender.
No.
So like, I don't know. If he gets traded, he gets traded. But if he stays around, it's $12 million a year.
There's definitely a Justin Jackson vibe to him of like he was a 5-star recruit, but then you watch him and you're kind of like, and like no shade, he's definitely an NBA player. He's good. Max, you watch this. I don't think you're a bad basketball player, but when I would see 5-star, I'm like, I don't quite know how the pedigree got that high.
Yeah.
Like high major 4-star, yes, but like this idea that we are watching one of like the 10 best players to come out of high school. I didn't quite see that because Justin Jackson was a big-time recruit. I didn't see.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember that and I came here and I was like, oh, he's long. He's got some skill, whatever. Maybe he's something. And then you watch, you're kind of like, I'm kind of surprised people were that high on him coming out.
It just goes to show how good these guys are.
That is 100% true.
Well, and it's like what you do, like, and who you are day one walking in through that door to the league to who you are year 3 or 4 can be drastically different if you want it to be. Because I remember when JB came in, I think we had gotten Justin Jackson the year before, and they were tight just from playing each other in championships and stuff, and everybody started lumping them together. Yeah. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Justin Jackson's Justin Jackson. Good NBA player. Nice career. I was like, JB can be whatever the hell he wants to be down the road. That probably won't be here, but, you know. Okay, so let's do this exercise real quick.
Okay.
Because you watch more other teams and are like once the Mavs are out of the playoffs, I don't watch really.
Okay.
Of the guys that aren't named Cooper Flagg on the roster, who do you think has the highest trade value of the rest of the group?
I mean, doesn't it have to be Kyrie?
I would think so.
I think you could. It's probably Kyrie, but I could very easily see a team be like, PJ?
Yeah.
So here's why I would say Kyrie for sure, actually, now that I'm thinking about it again.
Okay.
Is like, Kyrie is if I'm the Pistons or the Timberwolves or the Rockets.
Kyrie in Minnesota.
Right. That's our champion. Like, that's our championship push.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
once you get 3 of those teams, now you have a little bidding war happening. Where PJ is more of like how the Mavericks looked at him was like, this might be like a last puzzle piece role player.
Yeah, but I think his value, it's funny. I think people here think his standing is depreciated. I think league-wide it has probably appreciated from where they got him. Because then Charlotte was like, is this just a bad attitude dude? And now it can very easily be like, oh, just the whole situation sucked and he's playing next to a guy in his system he can't handle. But we know this guy can do things in a postseason series.
Yeah.
And he's still young enough.
Both PJ and Gafford are like, these were starters. And Gafford obviously was like a ceremonial starter, basically, where it was like, you're coming out the game in 4 minutes and like, getting out there. But like, these guys started on a finals team.
I actually, the Gafford one, like, I can see Najee having more value than Gafford. I think
Najee's
Gafford's
a weird one because he's contract. It's like a weird $9 million is like kind of a hard. I've looked around and that's like a hard number to move. Weirdly,
That's, I didn't.
No one makes the middle anymore.
Yeah, that's like
Nobody
a strange number.
But it's not. Yeah, but he does a lot of stuff and he gives a shit.
Yeah,
and like he's expanded his skill set here because nobody thought he could do. Not that you want him being a point forward, but like he could fake that for a few minutes as a secondary, tertiary defender. I think Gaff is just so specific. You need the right team for Gaff. And if you can't find that, it's going to be hard. Whereas Najee can help a lot of different people in a lot of different ways.
I'm just not sure because Najee, like, if you're not shooting in the playoffs, it becomes real dangerous having you out there because teams will help off of you. Like we've seen, like teams will abandon you in the playoffs until you prove to them, I will make 5 or 6 threes. Like that's Caruso is shooting like 57% from 3 in the playoffs, and the Spurs are still like, we just don't think you'll do that
over long enough timeline. You're not hitting these,
right? So like that's why Najee scares me because you can only have one of those in a playoffs. If you have 2 of those guys, you're done.
That's true. You can have one, and is he good enough to be the one?
Right.
Not?
And then you'd have to factor in like, do we have a stretch big? Like if it's a team where it's like we can go small or have a stretch big out there, like Najee can be. The guys help, because at least Najee can put it on the floor and get to his floater.
Right, that's where I'm a little more optimistic than most. Like he's not a stationary non-shooter, and obviously defensively gives you versatility, and so like there's arguments. Whereas Gaff, it's just like you don't do a lot of lob stuff. Okay, you can't use the verticality. He's not that tall. Okay, is his game going to age well into his 30s? Probably not. Like I could see the return not being what people want it to be, even though I think at a vacuum he's a good, useful player.
I thought last summer trading Gafford should have been like a number 1 priority. Yeah. And then trade deadline, I thought the same.
Well, but, I mean, and then the report comes out afterwards, and like take it for what it's worth, but like relatively respected reporter was just like, they had a deal with Indiana, but then Zubac. And I'm sure Indiana probably, because I don't think they would have given the same protection for Gaff. And
everyone
so it's
assumed that when that report.
No, I don't think that would happen. So I assume Indiana would much rather have had Gaff at the price than Zubac at the price they got. So
for sure.
They'd be a lot happier. What is the expectation for Flagg year 2?
I think it'll depend a lot on who's on the team. Because if we're going into opening night, it's still like, well, I guess Coop might just be the de facto point forward again or whatever. I think that might be a little bit rocky. But I expect Coop to have an incredible second year. Like, I don't know if it'll be a Luka-esque where he's top 5 in MVP voting or anything, but I'd imagine he shoots more threes. That was like a big thing I had for him his rookie year, was just like if we want him to be who we think he can be, he has to shoot more threes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just going to have to shoot more threes. I think we'll see that. And I think he'll be better on defense just by nature of year 2 in the league.
Yeah, he's been around.
He's been around. He just understands more of like, because there is a difference between, I was a dominant defender in college versus like, okay, these guys shoot faster now. They're more skilled. They're faster. They can get by you better. Like I can't be late on this rotation.
Yep.
Maybe in college I could gamble a little bit and get back. So I think he'll have a better understanding, and he'll just probably have to do less. So, because that was one thing for him where he was incredible this year, but like defensively, I felt as though, okay, this wasn't like the defensive player of the year candidate that we kind of thought he would be defensively, at least not immediately.
No, I agree.
But there was definitely flashes of him being a great defender. So I think his defense.
And I also think that like a lot of the stuff that he does well is on the help side, and that's a tough thing for any rookie to really figure
100%.
out.
And when your team just sucks, like that's when like your team's good. And now you have this super weapon here, where, like if we do get beat or something, he's gonna swarm in and
that's why it was like just so like. I mean, we bitched a lot in the show about the whole rookie of the year debate because we thought it was really stupid. But this idea that like Flag is benefiting because he's on a bad team, he's padding numbers. It's like being on a bad team also blunts a lot of the stuff that really makes him special.
Yeah.
And so like, if you want to argue that on a better team doesn't score as much, that's fine. Other stuff would play up that the same people who are making really deep analytical arguments for Khan would then make for Flag.
Yeah.
And it just kind of boils down to still at the end of the day, one of these dudes is just better than the other, and we all know who it is. So just don't overcomplicate this shit.
I am an analytics believer, but I'm
a believer to a point.
And I felt this way before, so it wasn't just like, oh, it's my guy, now it's time for me. It's like rookie of the year is just like you can't compare these guys analytically. Like that's something you do for like MVP. Let's dive into it because we're comparing these guys who are more often than not the number one options on their teams, and they're supposed to be the best in the world. Like Coop is a play finisher with like upside to being a point forward. Like that was his thing coming into the league, and they just he was a point guard immediately on a horrible team.
Yeah,
with no floor spacing.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to compare that to Khan, where it's just like, and Khan was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. But
really good player. It was never about that. It was just this idea that like, because I'm with you, like I'm pro analytics. I'm certainly not an anti-analytics person, but like even our guy Iztok, who's the smartest basketball data person I know, was tweeting like, guys, I think we're going to overthink this one a little bit. And this is going to be real bad a year from now if you kind of don't do the obvious thing.
If you're a rookie and you're scoring 50 points as a night, like you have won rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Like rookie of the year is an aura and hype award. And it's like you had the coolest moments.
Well, and it was
you're
also
the
just
rookie
like,
of the year.
Yeah, just at a certain level, like you kind of, that is an award where you can take a step back a little bit sometimes, just go like, all right, who is the best first year guy to enter the league?
Yeah.
And even the people that are arguing for Khan, like I didn't even get Hornets fans pushing back that they knew Cooper was better.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, well, the best season and the best case, blah, blah. I'm like,
it's never been about better season. Like I went back and I looked at all the awards, right? It was like, it is never about the best season.
No, there was a lot of like spinning and mental gymnastics in this one case. I'm like, we don't do that for this award. Why are we pretending to do this right now?
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
Propaganda. And did you hear that he broke Glenn Rice's Hornets 3-point record?
Really?
That's really important.
Well,
people care.
I mean,
that's high esteem.
Leading the league as a rookie in 3-point shooting is a little bit crazy.
It was
pretty badass.
Really it was pretty sick.
It was pretty badass.
Should we do some rapid fire?
Yeah, I want to do one more.
Yeah, do one more
before we jump into rapid fire. Okay, so I know you are either forced to talk about this or embrace it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Fixed tanking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fixed tanking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what you're doing.
All right. Here's my solution, and I've long said this. If you think tanking is truthfully that big of a problem in the NBA, get rid of the draft entirely. And I think it could work in the NBA.
Okay.
Because they are already kind of going. I mean, they're bringing in the NBA Europe, so they're going over there. I think the ultimate dream, and Silver has said this, is like, okay, give it a decade or two, and that hopefully that European league is like getting to the point where maybe we could have these tournaments like you see in football, where you have the best teams from this league, best teams from this league. I think it could work in the NBA where, okay, maybe you'd have to structure it to where like you get a certain allotted amount of money to spend. If you have the worst record or you're one of these bottom teams, you get the most amount of money, and then it goes downwards, right? And the pushback's always like, well, wouldn't everyone just go to the same team? And my thing is like, would they though? Because you need opportunity. Like if you're the number one college guy, do I want to go be the 7th guy or 8th guy on the Thunder and win? Like, or do I want to go to a team where they're going to give me the ball and then my second contract gets here and I'm making $70 million a year?
The example right now is college basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're going to pay you.
Yeah.
You can go to whatever team you want to go to. You have the option.
Right.
All of them go to Duke. and they don't win the championship.
That's right.
Like that's what's been happening at least since NIL has become a thing, right? Like the 10 best players. It's like whenever Texas Longhorns back in the day would just like scout from the little Dave Campbell's book and be like, go give me those guys.
Yeah.
Top 10, just go give me those guys. And they'd land them all.
Yeah.
And they'd go there and they'd make, whatever. Back in the day, they'd make money too. But now they actually make money playing college sports. And whatever little amount it is, because you've already given this to Boozer and this to, go down the list of dudes. And then they don't win the championship.
Yeah.
So I think it's a perfect, market has already been created of an example of this is actually a market now.
Well, even then, think about this. Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey were two of the most highly recruited guys. And then Rutgers was like, yeah, fuck it, we'll pay you guys to come play here if you want to. And they were terribly bad because they spent all of their NIL money on those two, and their roster was dreadful. And they didn't even make the tournament with 2 top 5 draft picks on their team.
So bizarre.
Yeah, so crazy. But I think that's not – I think the idea is cool. I've seen people really flesh it out where I'm like, I really think that could work and be really interesting. Like, smart teams would really prevail in this, where it's like, we don't need to spend $10 million on a player. We can spend like 1.5 on this guy, this guy, this guy.
Yeah.
And we trust them.
Yes and no. I mean, I think there's a way to work advantages. It would make things interesting, right? So the whole conversation we had earlier about the league might get boring if people do too much of the same stuff. We'd see more strategic diversity. But it's still a league where 6 players control the outcome of everything.
100%. So, but think about it, Jokic, 2nd round pick, Giannis, mid-teens, the teams that feel like we can find those players and develop them, but we don't have to spend, whatever you would.
Yeah, we could get 2 of those players. If you're going to give this guy $15 million, I'm going to get 2 $7.5 million players actually in this draft, and I'm going to take the 25th slot and the 32nd slot. You know what I mean?
I've heard people really flesh out. I'm like, it's interesting. And if you think tanking's that big of a problem, then it's like that is genuinely probably the only solution.
Here's 2 problems that I'd throw at you at that, which at day one it probably wouldn't be a problem, but down the road I think it'd be a problem, is agents funneling guys. Whenever you get one whole team is one agent.
Interesting.
They're all represented by CAA or whatever.
And they just run the team.
Yeah, and
that happens in soccer, in European soccer.
If you were with this agency, you're going to this team.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does not matter. Don't sign me.
Happen.
Do not sign me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to this team because that's the team, right? And then the other thing is people don't realize this about NBA salaries or athlete salaries. Once you hit this certain mark, what state you play in matters a shit ton.
Yeah. That would
to
be
how much money you take home. You'd have to balance for that.
Yeah.
Well, you have to say unbalanced, it's this.
Or at the very least, you would basically nuke basketball in Canada because no one beats Simon's Rock.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where, and again, I've seen people lay it out where it's just like you would have certain perks for, and if you spend X amount of dollars one year, you don't have the money to spend the next year. There's interesting ways to go about it. Or one of the most realistic, because that's not, they're never getting rid of the draft ever.
No.
So one of the realistic ones I've seen is, I think it's the Women's Hockey League does this.
Okay.
It's called the Golden Plan, I think. And it's once.
Sounds like insurance.
I mean,
it is.
You add Golden at anything, I'm there.
Is this on Aetna?
So the moment you get eliminated from the playoffs,
yeah,
every win you have from then on out is a point, and the team with the most points is the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
that kind of rules.
Yeah. That seems like an easy enough solution.
Right. So there's incentive to
try
lose, I guess, at the beginning of the season. So you could argue well, everyone would just tank at the beginning of the year versus towards the end. But it's the problem with tanking at the end of the year is you have 7 teams that didn't expect to be
same timeline tanking.
Right.
I also feel like the people who argue that are really not paying attention to the business aspect, which is that you can slide under the radar a bit and tank in March and your fans will be fine. If you tank opening night, you will lose so much money and so much goodwill.
Yeah.
The owner of the team will be like, you can't do it.
Yeah. So that would be my argument. And again, the Mavs didn't want to tank going into last season.
No.
And they ended up tanking. So you'd have the bad teams would have the most opportunity to. And that's just think about a March game where it's Kings, Nets, winner's going to have the number 1 pick. That's must-see TV right there.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm into that. Now we're getting somewhere.
You got to
do that, Adam. Do that.
You got to show face enough in July whenever you're selling season tickets.
Yeah.
And then in January and February whenever your renewal period is.
Right.
If the show face until then.
Yes.
And then just do some respectful amount of tanking.
Yeah.
But I do like the bounce back up thing of whenever you're eliminated, then on your record.
Go time.
That's pretty that rules.
Yeah. No, dude. Women's hockey, man. What's up?
They're figuring,
Let's go.
They are smarter than us.
And I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And I'm almost certain that's what it was.
If that's what
it was, a high approval rate.
If that's isn't what it is, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's do some rapid fire.
Okay.
What's the worst thing about NBA coverage right now?
Ref talk by a lot.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand
sucks,
it.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I can't stand it.
Okay. Angriest someone has ever gotten on one of your streams?
Oh, geez. Man, there was some times where Luka just wasn't getting back on defense. Right, maybe said some things that I probably shouldn't have. So I actually specifically remember the game. It was against the Pelicans 2022, I want to say.
So you're flying under the radar a little more.
A little more, yeah. And then Luka blocked me on Twitter, I think, that night because I had some choice words. But easily anything Luka related.
Was he doing the fall over on the offensive end so I don't have to get back?
Yes,
he mastered that after a while.
It was bad. And I was like, hey, man, your best player's got to play defense.
Nice. I love
Which
it.
he's done this year.
Yeah.
He did a lot better this year.
What's your favorite outdoor park in Dallas?
My favorite outdoor park. There's one in Plano. I forgot the name. And there's a literal tank. And I'm not kidding. There's a literal tank in the playground that you can climb on. And
I need to find this out for my daughter. I'm close enough to there.
Like Memorial Park or something like that.
All right.
I like your park review videos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are
that
really
was one
nice.
of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was one of them.
All right. Well, I'll find that one. When you look back at the Cooper Flag rookie year, we're making the DVD. What's the definitive Cooper rookie year game? You're like, that's the one where it's just like the first special thing.
I don't remember the exact date, but Denver Nuggets, when he went toe-to-toe with Jokic in the clutch and the Mavs actually won the game.
Yeah.
Right around Christmas time.
Yeah.
That was like oh shit, this is a different level of player right here.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Dream blunt rotation of Dallas media people.
Dream blunt rotation, Dallas media.
You can say however many you want.
Okay.
Minimum 3, I guess.
All right, well, it's got to be my guy Nick Angstadt.
Okay.
Just because that would just be an interesting.
I don't know if he does that.
Yeah, no, that would be an interesting
Okay.
sort of. Dwayne Price.
My guy.
And that's probably it.
Okay, just those two.
You guys.
Just those two. Yeah. Just eating chips, hanging out.
Yeah. Picking the brains.
The mastermind.
That's right.
Nice.
Are you a Project 2028 believer?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay.
And I hope the team isn't. Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Secretly,
weird.
like
Yeah.
Schmitz is like, Project
Yeah.
2028
The cap
sounds
space
good.
open.
Yeah.
Powder
Dry
dry.
powder.
Oh,
Hell yeah,
no,
dog.
not dry powder. I never want to hear those words again.
That was fun for like 7 straight years.
Yeah. I loved when my favorite wasn't even just that. It was when the Cowboys like 2022 did that phrase. Like in Oxnard, like we kept the powder dry. I'm like, do you not know what those words
Yeah.
mean?
They don't.
My favorite was it reached the point where it got so sad that I was like, yeah. And then Hassan Whiteside's a free agent next year. And it's like,
Yeah.
Jesus, that's what we're
We're
at.
taking this too far.
Like it used to be Mello at
Yeah.
least. Like
Yeah.
now we're at Hassan Whiteside.
They pitched Hassan Whiteside. Was that after Parsons? That was same timeline as Parsons, I think.
I think that was the offseason Parsons got the Grizzlies contract.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And we thought we were just gonna re-sign Parsons.
yeah.
And then he came in and was like, "Sorry guys, Grizz want to give me like $1 billion.
Yeah.
I can't play anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah, Hassan Whiteside was definitely the fix for that. Give up cheese for the rest of your life,
Okay.
and the reward is you never have to see Patrick Dumont.
I don't mind seeing Dumont.
Okay.
He's not the big scary one in my eyes.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that. She really scares me.
But she's not here that much.
She really scares me.
We don't see her.
She's got other stuff to be doing.
Yeah,
She's
that's
busy.
true.
She's
She's
chasing-
busy.
She's got wars to conduct, man.
She scares me.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay.
Please don't nuke this stream. One reasonable free agent you would like the Mavericks to pursue this offseason?
Man, I haven't really thought about free agents that much, but like depending on how much money,
What little dreams we have.
like if Colin Gillespie's a mid-level guy,
Tight.
that's one that
Let's go.
I'm not expecting big ones.
No, I said reasonable. I said reasonable.
Yeah.
Obviously. Funniest name on the court that isn't Tony Romo.
Funniest name on it. Well, Tony Romo's by far the funniest.
Yeah,
one.
that's why we had to roll that one out.
That's a fantastic one.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the funniest? Was it Styles P who played in preseason basketball?
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know if
For the
is he on there?
Pistons? I'm trying to remember who it was. Probably like AJ Johnson.
is that funny already?
Who is the? There was an off season. It was a Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's a funny one.
Yeah.
That'd be way up there. But I remember being at media day, the Lamar Odom trade year, which I don't even remember who he gave up for Lamar Odom. But
that was God, why don't I remember this?
I don't know.
Pick involved. There's
But
always a pick involved.
Yeah.
we were gonna get Jordan Hamilton, former Texas player. That was like the big talk of media day, and then he never came here. And then we were supposed to get Rudy Fernandez. Rudy Fernandez never came here.
Yeah.
So I want Rudy Fernandez in the court.
Okay.
That'd rule.
I think my actual answer to this question is Tariq Abdul-Wahad because Mark hates him so much.
Really?
Oh, dude, if you go back and Google old headlines about him, he just publicly motherfucked Tariq Abdul-Wahad. Really hates that guy. And so this is the idea that he's always on the court and
there.
and didn't really do a lot, but I could just imagine Cuban looking at me like, this fucking guy.
Oh, the question is the name on the Mavs court where they etch all of the players.
Yeah.
Is Tony Romo on there?
Tony Romo's on there, dog.
Yeah.
Is Rodman on there?
Yes. Absolutely.
Rodman is a funny one.
That's one of the best ones. I was watching an old Dirk game, and it was one of the games Rodman was there on YouTube, and he threw a fit and was just sitting at the free throw line.
Yeah.
I want to say that was maybe his last game.
That's iconic Mavs culture.
I was at one of the Rodman games as a kid.
Didn't he play 3 or 4?
It was 13.
It was 12. Okay.
Well, when I was at the Athletic, I was editing there. I edited Tim. Tim put an oral history together of Rodman's time there.
Yeah.
And the stories are so crazy. And
He wanted 69, and they told him no.
Told him no. He also
He wanted to change jersey numbers every game.
He wanted
That
to
was
do
the thing I
that.
read.
He also wouldn't there's something weird about him showering. I don't think he showered at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, he would just put his clothes back on.
Yeah, he just wouldn't shower. And then
yeah, I'm good, dog.
But I do remember
throw him at me.
was it when Dirk was on the show? Did he talk about this or was it something else? But he was talking about the whole watching him and he just wouldn't do practice that wasn't rebounding.
Yeah.
But the rebounding stuff you'd watch him do was actually really fascinating because he's the greatest to ever do it.
Right.
And he was knew exactly what he was doing, but he would not do anything else in practice.
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah. I know my role.
Chris Kamen's a pretty funny one, too.
Chris Kamen's
now that we're on the other side of it.
Stoudemire.
Hell yeah, Amari.
There's one. Yeah. I mean, Kemba Walker's kind of a funny one. Kemba's last game here was the great send-off. That's what a great way. It's almost poetic. You had one. You know those stories about this person was dying, had that one great day left, and then they died.
Yeah.
That was Kemba's last game.
That was Kemba. Isaiah Thomas, too. That's a great one. One game.
God, I forgot about that. Oh, man. There's some bangers.
Chris Middleton will be one of those.
Yeah.
Where it's I'm here
for it. I'm here for it.
I know. He just wanted to be a professional, and everybody hates him for it.
I know. I feel bad for
last one, buy or sell. The Mavericks will be a playoff team next year.
So, playing team, that's where I'm I can buy that.
Okay. All right.
So I guess maybe if you're a playing team, then I
Because
he's
you could
super big on selling it, but
okay. Yeah. I mean, the idea that play-in game, win a play-in,
Right.
get to the 8 seed essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So
Brad Stevens, by far the most interesting press conference anyone's given so far was Brad Stevens after the Celtics loss, where he was just we weren't good. The league sucked this year.
Yeah.
And I thought about more. I'm
yeah,
that is probably true. That's probably a fair way to assess it.
Case in point, this Knicks run, man. Credit to them for doing what they should and beating the shit out of people, but it's also just these teams aren't that good. I'm not sure you're that good.
Yeah.
If they go in and Oklahoma City waxes them in 6 games that are easy, it's going to be a horrible look for everybody.
I kind of agree with that, but I think that series will be pretty good.
I think whatever the outcome is, there are some series I'm oh, maybe it's a bad matchup or maybe it's just right guys weren't dialed and the right guys aren't ready for this. Whatever that outcome is exactly what the outcome should be. If the Knicks somehow win, it's they're really good. If the Knicks lose a tight 7 games, it's wow, they played their potential. If they get the crap beat out of them, then it's okay, they really aren't that talented, but they are so cohesive and they maximize what they have.
Yeah, and that's good enough in the East. But I think about the Suns and Blazers. I'm were you guys actually good, or is it just 5 teams in the West were we're good?
Listen,
we spent 5 months we're not winning a game.
My wife is a Suns fan who has NBA TV and watches the Suns. I've seen a lot of Suns basketball this year. They ain't good.
I know. I would always watch them. I'm but they just play hard every night. That could be what the Mavs do next year.
Yeah,
where it's we'll play hard every night and we'll get to 38 wins and that'll be the 10th seed.
Yeah.
And that'll be a fun little journey.
He is slightly biased. Go follow him right now. Subscribe on YouTube.
Tell the people where to find you.
At Biased Slightly on Twitter, youtube.com/slightlybiased.
There you go.
Haymaker Network.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
That's it.
He's the best. If you like that, he's on every single day somewhere.
I'm on a lot of things.
Just be grinding. Yeah. He is grinding.
Dude, thank you for hanging with us, man.
Yeah,
please come back.
This was a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. right, dude. That was awesome. I love that guy.
He's great, dude. He cracks me up. He's genuinely a good
he's
vibe.
also, I always laugh, but he's a smart guy too. That was one of the best conversations we've had.
Yeah.
So we'll have him back on. We'll have a good time.
Super talented, super smart. Love that dude. Thank you, Slightly.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's still your birthday.
It is.
I haven't gotten you anything yet.
That's
so
okay.
I'm gonna give you the gift of knowledge.
All right.
Or maybe you're gonna give me the gift of knowledge now that you're a wise 40-year-old. I don't know.
Really am.
We're gonna play a game. It's I'm gonna quiz you on the 6 players in NBA history who have played triple-digit NBA games after the age of 40.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to give you a hint. Dirk Nowitzki's not one of them.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, I think the first one, you're going to have to give me
this is regular season games, I should tell you.
Okay. At some point, you're going to have to give me some hints. But
yes.
Kevin Willis has to be on there.
Kevin Willis is number 4 with 153 games played.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Kareem.
Number 3 with 156 games played.
Vince Carter played forever.
Great one. Number 2, 227 games played. I will tell you, though, he is almost 50 behind number 1.
Dang.
So you need number 1, you need number 5, you need number 6. Number 6 is a very easy name.
Number 6 is a very easy name. Is AC Green on this list?
He is not.
He's not. Dude's over 40. Give me a hint.
You want the hint on the easy one? Is he's still going?
He's still going. Oh, LeBron James.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 102.
Okay. So I got
number
2,
1,
3, 4, and
number
6.
Yeah, you got 2, 3, 4, and 6. You did very well already. 1 and 5.
1?
I will give you a hint. They play the same position.
Oh, 1 and 5 play the same position.
They do.
So I'm guessing they're bigs.
They are bigs.
They are bigs.
They
Who
are
played
centers.
long as hell as centers.
And both of these dudes are Hall of Famers. These are dudes.
Akeem?
No, but you're kind of in the right ballpark.
Kind of in the right ballpark. How long did Tim Duncan play?
It's not Tim Duncan. He didn't get to 40.
He didn't get to 40.
I don't think he got to 40. I thought he was done at like 38, 39.
Akeem is kind of in the right ballpark.
Yes. Right era, for sure.
Who is the old? Oh, Udonis Haslem. Is he on there?
No. He only actually played 22 games past the age of 40.
Oh, interesting.
I think he just cracked the DNPs.
Who's the old ass center that played forever? Why can't I think of this?
You want another hint on the
Give
one?
me a division or team. Narrow down the teams for me.
All right, we're going to go to the number 1 guy last. We're going to work on number 5 because I feel like you can get this one.
Okay.
A guy who got famous in the Western Conference, but then had a nice run on an Eastern Conference team. Neither of these are very big markets.
Famous in the West. Good runner in the East. Not big markets.
Yeah. Around the time of Hakeem.
Is Alonzo Mourning in there for some reason?
No, but again, and also very Alonzo Mourning adjacent. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this name if you don't get it. You're going to be like, oh, I see.
Narrow it down. Give me another hint.
Played at the same college as Alonzo Mourning.
Alonzo Mourning was Georgetown?
He was.
Patrick Ewing?
The other really good center went to Georgetown.
Why can't I think of it? There was another good center at Georgetown. Oh, yeah, Mutombo.
That's it.
Dikembe.
Dikembe Mutombo. See, now you get all my hints.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Now. I just didn't think he played that late. Wow.
No, he was sticking around. 123 games. And so the last one, Vince Carter played 227 games past the age of 40.
Uh-huh.
Number 1 played 272.
Okay.
This is a Hall of Famer. Part of one of the all-time great dynasties. But also stuck around at a bunch of random teams afterwards, if my memory serves. But
not Scotty, is it?
No, this is a center.
A center. I'm sorry.
This is a center.
Oh, who's on a really good Hall of Famer on one of the dynasties? Oh, Robert Parrish.
Robert the Big Chief Parrish.
Yeah. For some reason I could not remember Dikembe. I don't know why.
No, it happens. I'm terrible at these games. So
yeah.
Look at this smart 40-year-old in front of us. You don't have Alzheimer's yet at all.
I only completely whiffed on one.
Yeah, no, that's good.
The screens aren't ruining my mind.
No. You got a few years yet before you're just tapioca and yelling at people to change the channel back to your Golden Girls.
Clash of Clans. Like every 60-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun.
I had a good time. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
All right. And your gift to this man right here. Subscribe, like it, read D Magazine.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. We got a cool guest. It's going to be World Cup related.
Let's go.
We're going to have a good time with it. We'll see you.